whether it's gold, bronze, gold, silver, or bronze, okay? That means if you are a judge in that ring, Pumse or sparring, and there's someone competing from your school, you probably should step out for that match. If it's your friend, you should not be in that match. If it's the friend of a friend that you've had talked with at times and hung out with, you should probably not judge that match. If it's the parent of one of your friends, you should not. Because the last thing we want is these two are competing. What's your name, sir?
Ian.
Dylan?
Ian.
Ian. What's your name, sir?
Isaac.
Isaac. Ian and Isaac are competing, and Mark is good friends with him. And maybe he doesn't like him. They had an altercation a couple years back. That has nothing to do with being friends. He should step out and he should step out. But imagine if neither one say anything and Ian wins. The coach for Isaac will come over and say, well, Mark's friends with him. Of course he voted with him. Or they'll come over to William and say, well, he doesn't like my fighter. I'm going to vote. That's why he voted for Ian. We don't want that to ever happen. There's enough referees to just swap on another ring. I do it all the time. If you have any doubt about it, current friends, old friends, friend of friends, don't judge that match. And I've told IR, I remember once we were judging Pumse, and there's 3 judges, right? So 2 out of 3. And the IR was the ring captain, and he says, it's okay, there's 3 of you. I said, sir, these are my friends. They're from my school. And he looks and he says, okay, so switch. So he thought it was okay, and I'm thinking, no, because if someone from my school wins, I don't want anyone coming up and saying it was their favoritism. And that actually happened. It actually happened last year. It was the ring Master Stephen was in. And I happened to be watching it. It was Pumse. I happened to be watching it. You know, feel free to sit down. I don't mean to have you stand up. This is going to be kind of seminar part. I happened to see the match. It was a Pumse match. And as I'm walking around the venue, I happened to stop and watch it. Master Stephen was not judging. He was doing the commands. The 3 judges were not from K Taekwondo. One of the athletes was. And that athlete won 3-0. I mean, 3-0, you know, it's not really close anymore. Coach comes up to me, oh, sir, that wasn't fair. And he points at Master Stephen. Master, you're in the same school, right? I said, yeah, we're in the same school. He said, but he voted for the kid from your school, so that was favoritism. I said, no, sir. No, he wasn't. He was doing the commands. He didn't say anything. He didn't get a vote. And the coach looks at me like, how did you know that? Because I happened to be standing there watching, okay? So I don't know if that coach was doing it intentionally or not, but I just told him what the facts are. The facts are that he wasn't judging. Had he been judging, think of how bad that would have looked. And now I have to defend that. And I don't want to have to do that. I don't want the referee chairperson to have to do that. So keep that in mind, okay? Fairness. Okay, so to be safe, to have safety, we have to have proper equipment. Proper equipment. So almost everything on this list is mandatory. There's a few exceptions. And before the tournament, I'm going to give you all, either electronically or paper, a listing of what's mandatory and what's not. And we always need head protection, right, for sparring? Always. Never an exception to that. They are not allowed to have any kind of a mask in front, plastic, soft, anything. They can wear a medical mask for their face. That's okay, like a COVID-type mask, because that's very soft. But no glasses of any kind, no goggles of any kind, period. There's no exceptions to that. They can come out and say, my doctor is the best doctor in the world, and says, my kid should wear these sports goggles. We'll say, okay, yes, ma'am, but not in this event. They can wear it in another event. We don't make exceptions for that. I've been in tournaments where I go up and the girl is doing sparring and she's got her glasses on. So I stopped the match and I asked the ring captain, and she goes, oh, well, she said she can't spar without them. Okay, fine, then she can't spar. There's no problem with that. The rules are posted on the website before they register. So if anyone registers without reading the rules, you know, it's kind of their problem. But don't argue, right? You can always just say, no, sir, no, ma'am, or to the coach, no, they're not allowed to wear glasses. If you don't know what to do next, go to the ring captain. If you are the ring captain, you tell them the rules, and then you say, if they keep arguing, you go to the referee chairman. You can, me, but primarily the referee chairperson. It's a lady, not chairman, chairperson. And you say, let's come with me, sir, or you bring her over, and then let her decide. Okay? And if she says something about, yes, they can wear the goggles, then you go with it because she's got the final authority, not us, okay? But she won't do that. Okay, questions so far about that? Okay, the head protection, yes, Miguel?
I've seen new style masks. Those don't go, those don't fly.
What is that?
The masks that got like this, like
Plastic?
No,
Nope,
so, no,
nothing.
Yeah, like the types of helmets that comes with like a mask.
Nothing, period. It's a two-sided risk. It's the risk to the athlete that it breaks and goes right into their eyes and they're blind. I don't think the parents are going to feel very good about that, and then they're going to blame us. And they're going to say we didn't even follow our own rules. And that puts us at jeopardy. Or the kicker, it breaks and goes into their foot or their hand or whatever the case is. That's not going to be very good for the other athlete as well. So it's two-sided. These rules are not just one-sided, they're two-sided. The head protection should be in good repair, should be in good shape. If it's crumbling and flaking and broken and cracked, they can't wear it. Every once in a while it happens. It's not the worst thing in the world, but they shouldn't wear it. There's going to be an equipment vendor on site, and we just say, okay, sir or ma'am, go find your parents and go buy new headgear. Or you say, look, just trade with someone. You know, there's 100 kids sitting here. Or go to your teammate, one of your teammates. It's very easy for them to find another headgear. It happens all the time. Also, the headgear has to match the dobok, or it has to match the chest gear. If you got blue, blue, red, red, unless you have white. White can go with any color. But do not allow mismatched headgear, period. It's craziness for the referees to keep wondering what color are they? It's total insanity. Don't allow it. And you know, there are kids or athletes who come out with all blue uniforms or all red. You've seen it many times. When they come out with all blue and they got their red chest gear on, no. Just switch it. Switch the names on the bracket sheet. Just switch it. Do not allow that, period. You know, if it's all green or camouflage or some other color, it's fine. But if they have red dobok or blue dobok, the chest gear has to match, period. And then again, the headgear has to match. So if someone coming out in all blue, makes it kind of easy, or all red, it makes it kind of easy, right? But when it's a mismatch, you've probably all seen this. Red dobok, blue chest gear, red headgear. What color is that player? Okay, so don't allow that. Okay, chest gear. Of course, we know chest gear is mandatory. As we just said, it must match the headgear. When it's tied, Patrick can grab one of the chest gear. Don't let my stuff all over.
We have a comment question.
Can you read it?
Yeah. Are plastic masks for helmets also not allowed for the younger athletes, such as children below 7?
So masks, anything that covers your face are not allowed, period. No, never allowed. Glasses, sports goggles. The only exception to this are like cloth masks that are for like a medical purpose, right? COVID and things like that. There are tournaments in the world that allow them, but there's none in the US that I know of, and we're not allowing at this tournament. Okay, so thank you for whoever asked that question. Okay, untie it, unwrap it. And Mark, stand up, please. Okay, so there's a proper way to tie chest gear. All you know that? Let's put it on top of Mark. And I want to get a profile so that online people can see. Actually, let's turn this way. Here. Patrick, here. Okay. It goes from top to bottom, and it crisscrosses. This is the proper way to tie it. Not bottom to top, not crossing it wherever you feel like it, top to bottom. Okay? It should cover all three of the holes if there are three of the things. If there's only two, of course, only two. Sometimes bigger guys like me, you can only get the top and the bottom. That's okay. But don't intentionally skip if it's tight enough. Okay? So after you tie it, if there's anything hanging down, so let's just, not you, let's pretend this is tied and this is all hanging down. Now you go up, Patrick. Go up like that, both sides, and wrap it around again, and then tie it. We don't want anything hanging loose, not 3 inches, not 1 inch. So if it's all excess, just go up to the top again. Hide it away in the top section. Okay, if you need to tie it again, fine. If you want to tie it to this, fine. But don't let it hang. This is not okay. This is not okay. And referees, generally, do not put these on the athletes. That's the coach, the parents, or someone else. Now, parents are not allowed down on the floor level, but sometimes the coach is the parent or something. So when the kid comes out, untie it, please. We're going to pretend Mark is very young. He's 8 years old. He doesn't know what he's doing, right? His parents told him, get to the tournament and go do some sparring. And what do? They come out like this, maybe, or they come out holding it. They don't even know what color they are. And you say, where's your coach? And then they get their coach, and then you let the coach put it on. Every once in a while, we'll tie it. They're like, I don't know my coaches. And towards the end of the night, you want to get going, you can tie it for them. But it's not our job. We have enough things to think about already. Okay, any questions on tying or on the chest gear? Okay, take it off. Thank you. And
So
just
during the match, if it comes loose, make it more possible for the coach to do
Yes.
it instead of you.
yes.
In the middle of the match.
Yeah, yes. You call you say, go to your coach. And now what happens a lot, William, stand up. Face that way. He's the kid, I'm tying it. Okay, William, you got to kick harder. They're not scoring it. And then go for a roundhouse and then do a head kick. And they go like this, and you can tell they're taking their time and whispering to them. If they're abusing it, you can say, coach, or not snap your fingers, it's not what I meant. But coach, let's go. Let's hurry up. Okay? Now, if it keeps happening, sometimes I've seen coaches do this. They tie it very loosely so that it comes undone and their kid gets a little break. Kid with poor stamina. So if it happens maybe a second time, you tie it yourself and you just tie it really tight because they're gaining an unfair advantage. Okay? In general, though, the coach should do all the time. Mouthpieces, mouth guards, mandatory for everyone. Everyone, no exceptions. Any color but red. I think that's what's on our booklet. I'll double check. Any color but red. Be clear, black, white, camouflage, whatever, but no red. And the red will disguise any blood that might be in the mouth. It'll hide it. It has to cover 6 teeth on the top. So I've seen them where they get their mouthpiece and they cut it off on the edge, and it's like this big. They go, well, here's my mouthpiece. Nope. It's got to cover at least 6 teeth on the top. Now, if they have braces on the bottom, they have to have a mouthpiece on the bottom. It's mandatory. There's no exceptions. So there are 2 ways to do it. They have a second one, so they put one up on top and one on the bottom, or it's a double, it's a double-sided, it's one piece. It doesn't matter which one they have, but it has to be worn. The one on the bottom has to cover 4 teeth. Okay? Top is 6, bottom is 4. And you'll get this a lot, especially at the end. Oh, I don't have one for the bottom. You say, okay, well, it's mandatory. Well, I don't have it. Let's just start sparring. Okay, you can start sparring when you get your bottom one, and then you just rotate it, right? You tell their coach, and we don't want to send kids away and say, go buy a mouthpiece. That's a little different, right? Because their parents are not with them. We tell their coach, you got to get them a bottom mouth guard. And it's amazing. They say it's very difficult to do that. Then they go to one of their teammates that's the same size. They take the one from the top and they make the kid wear it upside down. It's amazing when we enforce the rules, how many coaches can find what we tell them. Right, sir, William?
Yes, sir.
It happens all the time. It is not allowed. If they have braces on the bottom, they have to wear it. Okay? Everyone understand? Okay, forearm protectors, shin, instep protectors are mandatory. The exceptions now, oh, I said groin cup. I forgot to say groin cup. Groin cup, male and female, inside the dobok. Okay, a lot of times they come out, it's on top. If you're at the end of the day, like I say, you really want to go, let them fight. But if it's not the end of the day, tell the coach, go have them put it inside. And don't let them do it right there. I see that. They'll get stand up, Mark, William. He's the athlete. They'll go like this. Come close to Mark. Okay, go ahead. They'll act like a shield. Okay, take your pants off. And they'll do that, like right in the turning the floor. No, don't allow it. Total violation of every rule we have about safe sport. Okay, but the point being, for our tournament, we're not going to do that. It's highly inappropriate, even for adults, to be taking your pants off, your dobok pants off in the venue. Okay?
Yes, sir.
If they go to the corner of the gym and they're doing it on their own, we don't really care. But anywhere near our mat, our ring, let's say something, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's go and sit down. Okay? Gloves. So gloves are required for the world-class divisions. There's not going to be that many world-class divisions, but every other division requires gloves. Is optional for gloves. And we all know what the gloves look like. They're not boxing gloves. They can't get these alternate kinds of gloves. And they're almost always white, but there are apparently blue and red gloves you can purchase. It has to match the chest gear. So they may only have one pair, like the headgear. They have a blue, and then they're red for that fight, and they say, I want to wear it. Well, you can switch to chest gear, but you can't violate these rules. Okay. Questions so far about the mandatory protective equipment? No? Oh, 1 second. Go ahead.
Are there any age divisions where they don't need to wear gloves?
Only world class is mandatory. Everyone else is optional. Everyone else, yeah. So essentially, for most of the tournament, gloves are optional. If you're in the world class ring, they're mandatory. Okay. Now, inspection. Inspection is inspecting the athlete to make sure everything is proper. The inspections happen at the ring. Girls should inspect, females should inspect females, and males should inspect males. Okay. This is how we do it. Miguel, please.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. We'll do it with this Miguel. He's also Miguel. So Miguel is the athlete. He's male, I'm male. And this is what we do. Let's come here so we can get it on the video, Miguel.
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay. So he's got all his stuff. He's got his water bottle. He's got his headgear. You know, he's not sure what to do, and say, okay, sir, put all that stuff down. He puts down, you want him to have empty hands, except maybe the headgear. Just look at the headgear, right? I'm looking at it. It looks good. And then I say, go like that. And I'm looking at his fingernails. I'm looking, and it should pull up so I can see the forearm. So even though I'm touching him now, we don't touch him in the tournament because I can see it. And if I can't see it, I'll say, pull your sleeves up. We don't do this anymore. We don't need to. There's no reason to touch him. Okay? You can see it. Now, nails are a common problem. So I'm looking at his nails, and I think, wow, those are kind of long. So I asked him to go like this. If I can see the nails over the tip of the finger, it's too long. That's how you know. And if 1 or 10 are too long, they have to clip them, period. Okay? So you say, okay, so you're going to have to clip all those nails. And if he's next coming up, we're going to have to rotate and get a different match. Okay? Then we say, okay, hit your cup. And he should do that. You should hear a little sound. But as long as they act like they have it, it's okay. We're not physically checking, right? I'm looking at his toenails. If they're too long, they have to be clipped. And then I'll say, go like this. And I can now see his instep and shin guards. There's no reason to touch him. I haven't touched him many months. And then after all that, I go around, I look at his hair. Males wear things in their hair too, but mainly females. Anything that's hard, any piece of metal or plastic is not allowed, period. And I hear coaches say, well, they're going to put their headgear on. I say, yeah, but when that thing goes inside their skull, it's a problem. Okay? Or the headgear comes off and the person who kicks them gets embedded in their foot. That's a problem. It's not allowed. Okay? And frequently, it's all soft with one little piece of plastic or metal. So just take it off. Once you get the headgear on, the hair's not going to fly all over the place. Okay? That's inspection. So if it's female referees. Every ring should have one female. That's the plan. So if you're the one female referee and you see female athletes coming up, this is sparring. This is not poomsae. There's no inspection. There is, but it's not really a big deal. If you're the female referee in that ring, you can go to the ring captain, sir or ma'am, should I go inspect these girls? Okay? Because what happens is, we know this. Mostly boys come out. They get a lot of boys, and then every 3 there'll be some girls, and then all of a sudden I'm the one inspecting them. It doesn't look good, especially like I'm an adult. If they're like a teenager, and I'm going like this, it doesn't look good. So females inspect females. Okay. Any questions on inspection? Okay, Michael, thank you. Okay. And feel free to tell them, you need this piece of equipment, go get it. Now, again, we don't tell kids to go get it because they don't know where to go. We tell their coaches. But adults, we can tell them. I can tell Williams over 18 years old, sir, you need to go get gloves. And then that's it, or you need to clip your nails. It's their responsibility to figure out. It's amazing. It's amazing how many parents pull nail clippers out of their bags. Okay. Essentially, any color dobok is allowed. We're not really looking for anything particular. If it mismatch, if they got a black collar and they're just a color belt, it's okay. If it's, again, camouflage something, it's okay. World class, we shouldn't allow it, but there's not that many. There's not going to be that many world class. So basically, anything goes as far as uniform color, okay, or style. You know, there are Pumse uniforms that people wear frequently during sparring. It's okay. Are you checking the chat? Okay. Okay. Now, you know, the big thing that referees have to do is give penalties. Right? It seems like that's our job as a center referee, is give penalties. As a corner judge, you give points.
There's one asking color nail polish.
Okay, so there are rules. So let me back up a little bit. I forgot part of my introduction. I'm intending to share whatever knowledge I have with all of you to make you better referees. There are a lot of rules that I don't know because they're very, very high level, very obscure rules. And if you asked me a question, I'd try to find out if I didn't know. I'm also not trying to teach you every single USAT rule because our tournament is not a sanctioned tournament. So we're not applying every single rule. We're going to apply most of them, probably 90%. So to answer the question about nail polish, there are rules in the USAT rulebook. And in the documents I sent out, there's the 200+ page document. It does talk about it in there. So if you want to know the USAT rule, please take a look. But basically for our tournament, it's okay. Anything goes. Okay, as long as it's short, gotta be short nails. Okay. Now, of course, there's exceptions to that. If you look down and it's sparkling and it's clearly a distraction, it's not okay. If you think that it gives an unfair advantage to that player, or it makes it more difficult for the judges to score, it's not allowed. Now, I've never seen anything like that, but probably things like that exist where it's got flashing lights on their nails. It's not allowed. Okay, but hair, things in the hair. A lot of girls do it for Pumse. That's fine. As long as it's not, you know, flowers flying around that is distracting, because that takes away from the performance of the athlete. And now we start judging their hairpiece, and then it gives it you know, people who can't afford it a disadvantage. So we don't want to do that. But you know, have their hair up or something nice is fine. And if it's all scraggly and flying all over the place, that's okay too. There's no requirement for short hair. Okay. In sparring, there's a requirement in the world class that if the hair is coming out of the headgear and it's blocking the sensors, the electronic chest gear, then it's a problem. Then they have to tuck it up. But I've seen all kinds of things, especially in Pumse. Okay. Okay, so center referee is mainly what we're here to do. We're going to talk about penalties, gamjangs, okay? So everyone stand up.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you know, shake out your legs a little bit. And as a center referee, you give penalties, and you have to give a lot of hand signals. This is what we call them, hand signals. And almost every penalty has a specific hand signal. And we're not here to learn all the hand signals and to make you masters at them. We're here just as a refresher. You can watch plenty of YouTube videos about the hand signals. If you want to refine it between now and the next week, you can watch a lot of videos, okay? So crossing the boundary line is the first penalty we'll discuss. So the mats are red. The warning is blue. And just imagine there's a warning around the mat square, and I'm fighting with Ian. So we're sparring, and I'm back against here. Josh, Master Josh. Master Josh and Ian are sparring. And Master Josh is at the end line, right? Now, hold on a second. Hold on. Of course, this is totally fine. There's no penalty here. He's not out of bounds, okay? Out of bounds is 1 foot completely, 1 foot off the mat. So that's definitely out of bounds, or out of bounds, crossing the boundary lines. You know, in American sports, we call it out of bounds. Koreans, we call it crossing the boundary line, okay? Now, if he's on his big toe, no, stay on the blue. He's on his big toe on the blue, that's out of bounds because he's touching the blue. But if he's part red and part blue, go ahead, totally fine because it's not 1 foot completely out. Stephen, you don't have to move it. It's wide.
It's just that you were in front of it.
Oh, I was blocking. Okay. Yeah, you can move it then. Okay. I'll try not to block it. Let's move this way. Go forward. So step on it again. Half on, half off is totally legal. He can pick his foot up and he can wave it in the air outside Totally legal until he puts it down, penalty. Doesn't matter how long it's on the ground. Doesn't matter if it's his toe, his heel, his side, a toenail. Doesn't matter. Dobok is fine, but foot is not. So they're called puzzle mats, right? They have this puzzle thing. So what I've always wondered is, I've seen this happen. If I'm here and I have my big toe on the blue, I'm sorry, I have my big toe on the red, but it's in the middle, is this out of bounds or not? It's not. Why? Come over here, William. So remember, in the middle here is red, and I'm fighting with someone over here, and my big toe is here. So, and now let's lift my heel up. Out of bounds or not? Hard to say, right? Because these are not straight lines. These are not straight lines that I'm clearly blue or clearly red. Here, my big toe is still on red. My middle and third, or my second and middle toes are on blue. I don't know what the answer is, but I've seen it, especially little kids with little feet. They get right on the edge. Okay? Most people will call that out of bounds. Most coaches for the other player will say you went out of bounds. But as a center referee, it's your decision. Okay? We don't want to give penalties that are close. We want to give penalties that are clear cut. Okay? So, Master Josh, come back. So he's sparring with Ian. He's doing all kinds of things, but his foot never leaves the red, or another way to say it, his back foot never touches only the blue. He can touch only red. He can touch red and blue, or he can touch nothing. But once it's all blue, it's penalty. Okay? Now, if he's out of bounds, it takes a second for the referee to put his arm down, say call you, right? William, call you for them? As he went out of bounds?
Hello.
It took a second, but Ian is quick. So he comes over here. Before arm is down, he kicks him, scores. Corner judges press before his arm goes down. Okay? Don't answer. Anyone else know? Does do Ian's points stay up? Valid kick, it got scored, but Master Josh was out of bounds. Anyone else but William know the answer? Okay, William, what's the answer?
Yes, sir.
It's louder, please.
Yes, sir.
Points stay up because the attacker should not be disqualified or should not lose the points. Valid attempt. The problem is with the center referee being too slow. Now, if he anticipates it and he's like, oh, he's about to step out and he calls Kalyo, and then the kick lands, nothing can score after Kalyo, nothing. And the Kalyo is when the arm is straight down. Not the word, it's the arm. So the problem with anticipation, though, is sometimes you get it wrong. And he never really steps out. Go ahead, Kalyo. And he never really steps out, like, why did he call it? And then especially if he scored right away, they're going to say, why did you call Kalyo? There was no reason to stop it. So it's kind of a hard call to make. I usually anticipate. And that goes back to safety. Because if someone's going like this and they're about to go out of bounds, maybe they're about to fall, I would just do it early. I would anticipate it. So at least that way his arm is down. Put your arm down. That way, maybe he'll pull his kick back and not kick me in the face. A little safety for the opponent. Okay? But it's a hard call to make when they're on the borderline like that. Okay? So now, let's come back. William's our center referee. Master Josh is still sparring. And this time, Master Josh goes out, and then come closer. Just 1 foot out. He goes out of bounds. His arm is coming down. Now he scores before his arm is down. Okay, now his arm comes down. So anyone besides William, does Master Josh's points score? I mean, the corner just scored it. Corner just scored it before his arm was fully extended. Do his points stay up? I got one yes. Anyone else say yes? I got a no. Okay, you can lift your arm up. So the answer is no. He can't score. You cannot score points after an illegal act. The illegal act is going out of bounds. So it's different when he's the kicker because he's in bounds, but he's out of bounds. He can't score after that. It doesn't matter how long it takes the center referee. And I've had this happen where they're so fast. I'm still going like this, and they've scored 2 or 3 times. And so his get to stay and his get to come off. Okay? So as a corner judge, Miguel, as a corner judge, you're sitting there judging kicks, and you see valid kicks going back and forth. When do you stop pressing? When he says call you, right? So when his arm is all the way down, okay? But you know, his arm is up, bend your arm. He's watching something else. He's a little bit slow. His foot is totally out of bounds. You can see it 100%. You're this corner judge right here. He's just slow for whatever reason, but they're just kicking back and forth. Do you keep scoring even though he's out of bounds? Yes. That's the correct answer. You keep scoring as a corner judge until the arm is all the way fully extended. Because it's not the corner judges give points. Center referee gives penalties and takes away points. Okay? It's not the corner judge's job to determine if a penalty should be given. Maybe it was pushing out of bounds and the penalty is going to go on him. Keep scoring. And this, I did this once in a tournament. I stopped scoring. I don't know, time was up or something happened. And it was a head kick and there was a challenge and we had a meeting. The center referee says, why'd you stop scoring? I said, well, he was out of bounds. He said, that's not your job. It's my job. So I caused a big problem in that match. So just keep going. It doesn't hurt. Even if his arm is down, you want to keep pressing, fine. There's no harm in it. Maybe the computer operator forgot to stop the clock and your scoring makes a difference. Just keep scoring. Any questions on scoring or going out of bounds? Okay, so what is the hand signal for going out of bounds? Okay, Mark, come here. Just come right here and let's kind of a little profile. Everyone just practice this. He's going to use his right hand. All of you use your right hand. So we're in, do you Kalyo first? So they're fighting. Kalyo is, switch legs. So Kalyo is to get in the middle to tell them to stop, right? That's the idea. He's not really in the middle. He doesn't want to get kicked. Hopefully they stop, okay? Give Master Josh a penalty for going out of bounds. Okay, but let's get this sideways. Let's get a profile. One more time, the penalty. Okay, so the Gamjan first is pointing at his forehead. Do it with me, Mark. So from here, from the ear, here to his forehead, right? You're not touching him. And then to your left shoulder and across back to the forehead. Forehead or like bridge of the nose. Obviously, we don't touch them, right? Every once in a while it happens. Just be careful. And then the hand signal is to drop to the middle with a knife hand, and then it's like a half circle. So to show he went out of bounds. That's out of bounds. Okay. So just try that a few times. Look at each other, help each other. If you know what you're doing, help each other. Miguel, if you don't know if you need some help, stand with someone else and just practice out of bounds. Okay, so let's come back. So I did this intentionally. I didn't stand up here and demonstrate it. I wanted all of you to kind of talk about it yourselves and figure it out. The first half of it, Instructor Patrick was telling Chelsea, first part of it, what he said is accurate. So do the first part. Just do Kalyo first. Kalyo. So he's getting in the middle, opposite hand, opposite leg. It's always right hand, it's always left leg. And then I'm the fighter he's about to give a penalty to. And then what does he do? He comes and he gets in chariot. And then he, go ahead. So he's saying Chong or Hung, right? Blue or red? Chong, Gamjang. Chong, Gamjang, right? It's calling their color or their name, and then Gamjang means penalty. That part of it is always, you always do that for a penalty, no matter what, that part of it. The hand signal, the specific hand signal for the penalty is different. So after he does that, one more time. And then for crossing the boundary line, go ahead. That's it, right? And then the other fighter is here to go back to restart. He gets out of the middle, and then he says what? Queso is straight up, and he gets out of the way, right? Because we're going to start fighting. The idea is you're in the middle first, and then you're out of there. Queso. I guess there's a K at the end. I don't know. Is it K-sock?
You don't emphasize the ending.
You don't say the K, right?
You just go queso.
Yeah. So what I say is my instructors spoke Spanish, so I just like cheese, right? Queso. But I've heard like Koreans say oh, queso. I say okay. You know, the key is you say something. And here's a little secret. It was really hard for me at the beginning to remember chung and hung. Really, really hard. And I kept trying to develop system to remember. But when you're doing this, I just said gamjang. Gamjang. Because chung and hung, kind of just the first couple letters are different, but the part is the same. I did that for a long time. Okay. The reality is we want to get it right. Yes, we want you to use the proper Korean terminology, but every once in a while, like especially at the end of the tournament, I don't do blue. I don't say blue, but chung, gamjang,
Or 1 point.
or especially with numbers, I'll say 1 point or blue, 2 points. The gamjang part should be Korean. That should be easy. Chung, hung, gamjang. 3 words to learn. But when we're giving points, like for a back spinning kick, we have to add points. A lot of times I'll say blue, 2 points, red, 2 points. I'm just too tired at the end of the day. Now at a sanctioned tournament, it's a little different. I try a lot harder. But in a local tournament and you've been working really hard all day and kind of tired, I would rather hear it in English than hear the wrong word in Korean. Okay? Especially now we can give 6 points for back spinning kick to the head. How would you do it, William? How would you award 6 points? What would you say?
So the referees have to tell me like add 3. So
6.
oh, 6.
6.
Well, you're not allowed to go past 5, so I have to say 5 then 1. Right?
I don't know. I thought I've seen people do 5 and 1.
Chung, 6점.
I think that's right. I'm not positive. Is that right, Mark? You saw that at the tournament. Were you there last weekend? States?
You get 6, so just 6점 is 6 points.
Yeah. Were you at state championship last weekend?
No, sir.
Okay. So Mark was there last weekend and he saw a lot high level IRs doing that.
Because I asked, I could be wrong. It's just I heard you're not allowed to just give 6 points like that, but I guess there are exceptions.
Well, the old rule was, okay, let's say the old rule when a head kick was 5 and you had to give, no, when a regular head kick was 3, okay? There were times when there would be 2 head kicks that you're awarding. So it's a total of 6. It's true, then for sure, they would tell you do not try to add 6. I think they would say 5 and 1. But with the new rule, a back spinning kick to the head is 6 points. I think it's what you just did because that's what Mark saw happening. Okay, it's not too much to worry about, it's just one of the finer points. English or Korean, but get it right. Okay, blue coach is asking to invalidate the penalty because I hate it when, well, I don't hate it, but people come up to me. Chung coach says that Hung kicked low against Chung. And I go like this, I say, okay, so red coach says that blue kicked low. I translate it to English, it's just my limitation. If you speak Korean natively or whatever, you're fluent in it, fine, great, more power to you, but it's hard for me. Okay. Keep that in mind. Okay, so falling down is any part of your body except the soles of your feet touch the ground. Finger, hand, head, knee. This is okay. I don't know how you would do that. But anything else touches the ground, it's falling. So if they touch the ground and land the kick, penalty, and you erase the points for the kick because it's after the penalty. Okay. The hand signal for falling down. Mark, what is it? Okay. So we say stand up. This is the only time you give the signal first. So Ian's on the ground. I say stand up. And then he gets up. And then I do chung gamjang. I've already given the hand signal. I've already told him what it is. So I don't do it again. This is the only one where it comes first. Everything else, chung gamjang, and then we give the signal. Okay, that's what falling is. If both players fall before Kallyo, there's no penalty, just for falling. Okay, so Mark and Miguel are sparring. They both fall to the ground, and I'm a little slow. Kallyo, there's no penalty for that. And then to tell everyone in the venue that there's no penalty, you got a chalkboard. You're erasing. You're saying, I'm waiving off the penalty because there's no penalty. You're acknowledging to the rest of everyone else. I saw it. My interpretation was they were both down before Kallio. But if one falls, and then I say Kallio and the other one falls, the other one falling after Kallio means nothing, because Kallio is stopping the action. I would give the falling penalty to the one that fell, because he fell by himself before Kallio. If they both fall before or they both fall after, there's no falling penalty. Make sense? Okay. So we say stand up. Okay. And we do that before, and then we chung gamjang. And then so resume. Okay. That's the hand signal for falling. Grabbing is what it sounds like. It's put your arms out. This is grabbing. I'm pulling him around. I'm grabbing so now he can't fight. Or he kicks. This is grabbing. Okay? We're going to go into the finer points of this later, but that's what grabbing is. Even hooking. There's some people who do this. This is grabbing. They're hooking the ankle to get an advantage. Okay? William, what is the hand signal for grabbing? Right. So your hand is already here. You turn it up, fist, and pull to your rib cage. You do not go anywhere near your face. It's not this. It's not anything else. It's here, chung, gamjang, to your I don't know if it's your belt or your rib cage. Probably rib cage. Belt, somewhere here. That's grabbing.
I mean,
Yeah. I wish we had more time to practice all the hand signals, but we don't, so we're not going to. But that's grabbing. Okay. Attack. Okay, now we have these monkey kicks and animal kicks. We're not going to talk about those. I think they're confusing. But the main idea is, Patrick, put your arm up. That's not a Taekwondo kick. It might score, it might land, but it's not. And neither, pick up that arm, neither is that. They're called, one's a fish and one's animal, or one's monkey and one's fish. If I do it, if I'm here and I can do that and it scores, fine. Or whatever the other one is, fine. But usually I have to grab onto them. And I do something like that. When the knee is out, it's a monkey kick. Normally it's like this, right? Knee is in. Or this fish kick, my knee is out. If I'm grabbing, and I do that, it's a grabbing penalty, and then the points come off. If I don't do it, and I'm just grabbing, this is okay. Now, William, maybe you know the answer to this. If I try a monkey kick and it doesn't score, do I get a penalty for grabbing?
No.
I think he's right. I don't think there's a penalty.
Not restricting his movement.
Yeah.
That's why.
So definitely if it scores. Okay. Any questions on that? I don't want to spend too much time. No, there's no warnings. There are some warnings, but not for this case. No.
So animal kicks are illegal as long as they're not grabbing.
Yes. 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 There's something called a scorpion kick. I'll show a picture of it later. That's totally valid.
But we only allow 3 points for scorpion, right?
Yeah, scorpion kick is not a turning kick. We'll come to that later, but it is a valid kick. The idea is we want to discourage it, and usually you have to grab on to do these things. So it's grabbing. Okay. Pushing. Is pushing allowed in Taekwondo sparring, Chelsea? Is pushing allowed? Is pushing allowed? He's giving you the answer.
No.
Pushing is allowed. Pushing is allowed. Bam. I can push. I'm sparring with Master Josh. He's really close to me. Get away, man. Totally legal. One hand, two hand pushing is totally legal. We're sparring. Totally legal. I do not have to follow with an attack. That's some old rule, long gone. Pushing is legal, with 3 exceptions. So I'm sparring with Master Josh. He's in bounds. I'm in bounds. And I push him and he goes out of bounds. That's my penalty because it's stopping the action. The idea, a lot of these rules changes, we're going to go through the changes, is to keep the action going. So if I push him out of bounds, it stops the action. My penalty. But in this case, we're really not that really not that close to the boundary line, and he's a good actor. I give him a good shove, but it's kind of obvious that he went out on his own. He could have stopped himself. His penalty for going out of bounds. When it's right in the middle, come a little closer. It's kind of hard to tell. Was it my push or was it his exaggeration that went out? You're the center referee, you make the decision. Somebody has to get a penalty. Clearly someone went out of bounds. So either out of bounds, which is the most obvious, or potentially is pushing. And people who push a lot, they do it for the whole match. So if it's like first couple times, the opponent here is pushing and he's not going out of bounds, and then he realizes, hey, wait a minute, I'm down by 2, or this opponent has 4 penalties. So now he's still far from the edge. He exaggerates to try to get me my 5th penalty and get disqualified. Okay? Then you call him for out of bounds. Okay? So you have to pay attention during the match. So, some people that push, they push a lot. Okay. Gabby, what is the hand signal for pushing? Go ahead, please. There. Come closer and get a little profile. So do the, yeah. Yeah, so just from your chest, just push. Extend your arms, right? Hands straight up. Nice tight knife hand, right? Arms fully extended. One of the few times you use your left hand, okay? That's pushing. So that's it. Okay, thank you. That's exception number 1, pushing out of bounds. Exception number 2 is pushing to impede an attack. So in slow motion, his foot is up in the air. It doesn't really matter if he was going to score. I mean, if it was a valid attempt, if it was just something like that, it's not really an attack. But it's a good, solid attack. You can tell it probably would have scored, and I impede it. It's pushing penalty on me because it's impeding the action. We want these high scores, right? We want high scores, we want a bad action. So people watch Taekwondo. Pushing on my case. Question? Okay. Third exception is continuous pushing. And this is something that has changed recently. So we're fighting. Josh, please. And he's pretty passive. He's not pushing back. Let's turn sideways. But maybe I'm tired. Maybe I don't know how to spar. And I just keep pushing him. It's like all over. Don't go out of bounds, though. And he's not going out of bounds. And he's like, I don't want to go out of bounds. I got 4 penalties. And he's never sure if he's going to get the penalty. So he's fighting to stay in bounds, but I'm pushing nonstop. That's continuous pushing. It's not sparring. I should get the penalty. But there's like a new concept. If I'm continuously pushing, it's probably a clinch. Probably considered a clinch. Right? This is a normal clinch. But this is like a clinch, right? It's just on the front. This is not much different than this. But it's just in the front. It could be here. It could be here. It could be here. It's kind of like a clinch, right? So you are allowed to treat it like a clinch. You kind of have to use some judgment. Is it really pushing? Like I'm all out to get him out of bounds, to get him his 5th penalty? I would call that pushing foul because I'm doing something that's not Taekwondo related to make him get a penalty, or to maybe for him to fall and, I don't know, twist his ankle. But if it's just we're standing, toe to toe, I'm just doing that. He's resisting. That's a clinch. Just Kalyo and then queso. Everyone understand that? Okay. So those are the 3 exceptions for pushing. That becomes a penalty on the pusher. But I push, he falls, he gets a penalty. Okay. Now we talked about out of bounds. William, here, please. So I said out of bounds is 1 foot on the out of bounds area, right? So if his heel was on the red, it's fine, but in this case, it's not. So he is not out of bounds, right? But instead, come here, sit down on the blue, put your feet on the red. So he's sparring and he falls like this. His feet never left the mat. Patrick, what penalty does he get? He gets falling because his feet are not out of bounds. Well, let me back up here. His his feet are not right. This is falling, right, William?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is falling. Yeah, I'm got a little confused there.
A part that's not my foot has touched the ground, so that's falling.
Right, something other than his foot has touched the ground. Now, if his feet were out of bounds first and then he fell, it would be out of bounds. In this case, he fell. His feet didn't leave the mat. So this is a falling penalty. So stand up again, please. Mark is sparring with William. He's right on the borderline, and he doesn't want to go out of bounds. He's got 4 penalties, right? 5 penalties, you just get disqualified for that round. He's doing his best to stay in. He's keeping his foot in, and Mark pushes him pretty hard. No, but he falls on his. But come here, William. He falls. One more time. He falls. He pushes, and he falls without his feet leaving the red. It's a falling penalty, right? Because his feet did not go out of bounds. Everyone understand that? Or is it not a falling penalty? What's the other possibility? Master Stephen, what's the other possibility? It's the other penalty we just talked about. Pushing. Because he pushed him out of bounds. He pushed him, no, he didn't push him out of bounds. He fell. So it gets confused for pushing. As you can see, I'm getting confused myself. It's not pushing out of bounds, because pushing gets a penalty if he goes out of bounds. In this case, he fell. This is no different than falling in the middle of the ring from a push. It's a falling penalty.
But would you say that it's up to the center rep to determine whether that was truly like a push or if the athlete was kind of like exaggerating, like going back? Because I've seen athletes do that.
But what penalty are you getting right now?
So I would get a penalty for falling down, or possibly if he pushed me that hard, he would get a penalty for pushing me out of bounds.
No, but you didn't go out of bounds. He can only get a pushing penalty if you go out of bounds. This is the hard part of this rule.
Yes, sir.
So let's go back in the middle, William. Just in the middle of the ring, we're not near the boundary. He pushes hard and he just falls, just right here, just right here. This is falling. This is not a pushing penalty. Everyone understand that? The only difference now is, scoot back. The only difference now is he fell on the blue. He fell out of bounds. I keep saying out of bounds, but he fell on the boundary line. How about I say that? Still from the push. William still gets a falling penalty because this is not out of bounds. And a falling penalty doesn't ever become pushing. He was not, unless he was impeding the kick or continuous pushing, that's different. But assuming he wasn't doing one of those, this is falling, it cannot be pushing. Everyone understand that distinction? But now if you just scoot back further, if he went back and his feet went out of bounds and then he fell to the ground, pushing, because this is, you would normally call out of bounds, crossing the boundary line, but it was caused by a push. So in this case, if you thought it was caused by Mark, you would call pushing on him. If you thought William was exaggerating, you'd call out of bounds on William. This is a big thing to remember. It happens quite a bit where they go down their rear end or their hand and their feet don't leave the mat, the ring. It's falling. As you can tell, I get it confused myself. Any questions on this falling down or out of bounds?
Question. So the pushing doesn't get a penalty.
In this scenario, there's no penalty.
So even if he was in the ring and he got pushed, as long as he doesn't fall down, there's no penalties for anybody.
Even falling, there's no penalty.
Oh, if it's in the ring.
In the ring. Pushing is allowed. Several years ago, pushing became allowed. So I can push, it may even look like a double-handed palm strike, but it's a push. If he goes to the ground for falling, it's fine. There's no penalty for pushing there.
But the person fell gets a penalty.
For falling, exactly. If someone touches the ground, there's almost always going to be a penalty unless it's both of them before call you.
How about this situation? This athlete falls a couple times, right? So this one kind of takes advantage of it and pushes him. It catches him off, kind of like, and is able to put him down.
Okay.
I was going to call the pushing penalty, but then the coach said they were in a kicking mode. They were ready to kick athlete. So not just a straight push, but a push with an intent.
Well, hold on. Is William, are you pushing? Hold on.
Okay.
Miguel, are you the pusher here?
I'm the pusher.
Is he in the?
Well, he kind of took advantage of the because this player would kind of
Because he's off balance.
kind of, yeah.
This is his problem.
A couple times.
It's okay.
It was like kind of like almost like, oh, okay, I'm gonna push him down again, kind of.
Fine. Then he needs to learn balance.
Okay, so it'd be on.
Yeah.
All right.
Unless he's in the motion of kicking, and it looks like it's a valid kick.
He's in the motion. of
Yeah.
kicking.
Now, if he's really kicking low, and there was really
Right,
no chance,
Right,
kick him low. There's really no chance it would have ever hit the chest gear.
right.
And you push him, I would still give him the falling because it was not a real attack. Okay? I don't know if that's the exact rule, but my understanding is if it's not a real attack, there was never a chance it was going to score. It probably would have ended up being a low kick on him. The fact that he falls because of your push doesn't change it that he fell. Okay, any questions on falling and pushing? Okay. Lifting the leg. We're going to talk about it later. There's a whole bunch of rules about lifting the leg. Kicking below the waist. It says waist, but it's chest gear. It's not belt, it's chest gear. So we have chest gear. A volunteer, please. Okay. So we don't have to tie it. William's in here sparring, and Patrick is sparring with him. And just move your arms out of the way. And let's go profile sideways. And Patrick kicks him, and it touches the chest gear, and the rest of it hits the body. Touches the chest gear, but most of the foot hits the body. Like that. So his toe, his small toe is touching the chest gear. His big toe goes into his waist.
So kind of like.
Partial. No, just straight. No, not deflected. Give me a kick. It's really low. Come closer, please. Don't make this hard. It's really low. But the toe touches the chest gear, and the rest of it hit his body. Or, what's more common is a back kick. So Patrick does a back kick, and the heel hits the chest gear, and the rest of it hits him in the body, maybe even the groin, or it just goes, hits, and then it keeps going. Two scenarios where the foot hit the chest gear, and the rest of the foot hit the body, and he's like, oh gosh. Is there any penalty, Isaac, right? Any penalty on Patrick for that? For what? Okay. Anybody else think yes or no? Opinions? Speak up. Don't just nod your head. You think it's a low kick below the belt?
If it goes below then chest weight, then yes.
If it's
If it goes lower than the chest weight, then yes, sir.
okay. Anybody else? Anybody think no penalty?
No penalty.
No penalty. Why?
It was illegal.
It was legal, right?
This is valid.
Valid. That's right. If any part of the foot touches the chest gear, it doesn't matter where the rest of it goes. It's legal. And it happens a lot, especially on me on back kicks. I'm taller than most. They do a back kick. Their heel hits the very bottom of the chest gear, and the rest of it hits me somewhere else. It's totally illegal. Okay? I've seen people where it hits here, the toe hits here, and the rest of it hits the shoulder, and he's like hurt. Totally legal. No penalty for that. So when you have electronic chest gear, most rings will not have it. So don't count on this. But when you have electronic chest gear, it happens on occasion where someone does a kick and it scores. Center referee Kalyo, Gamjan, for low kick. And the coach challenges and says, how can you get a low kick? It scored. The sensor, it was hard enough in the right spot, even though the rest of it hit him in the groin or hit him below the belt. Doesn't matter where below the belt. You would remove the penalty because the sensor is right. And now, if they looked at video replay and it was clear, it never hit it, and some malfunction in the chest gear, that's different. But as long as it's valid and the electronic chest gear is working, it's not a penalty. You may not score, but it's not a penalty. And if it does score, it's even more clear-cut that it's not a penalty. So if you're a center referee and you see that, especially if it's electronic chest gear, you should just double check, did the score go up? Now, if it's not electronic chest gear, it's corner judges pressing the button. It's equivalent to electronic chest gear. So I had this, and I hope I'm telling you all the right information, and if I'm wrong, I'll put the correction on the YouTube, where both corner judges pressed it, and center referee said, it was a low kick, take off the points, get the penalty. And the referee chairman comes over and says, that was wrong. Because they scored it. They're the ones that score it. in place of the computer, in place of electronic chess gear. So it's a valid kick. They scored it, so its points stay up, and there's no penalty. Even though I saw it hit the groin, obviously 2 corner judges, both of them within 1 second, saw it hit the chess gear. And I can't overrule that. I can't take away a point that a corner judge validly gives, and there's no penalty on his part. Make sense? Okay. Any part of the chess gear is valid. Okay. We're going to come back a little more later on scoring area versus valid area. I just wanted to highlight that. Okay. So the hand, you can take it off. The hand signal is this. Okay. So everyone just do it. Chung, Gamjong. Go ahead and say it with me, please. Chung, Gamjong. Just from here, stick your hand out. Just go to your right and go like this. There's no like big circles or anything. Chung, Gamjong, and then, excuse me, here, just here, your arm is fully extended and you just bend. If you've got a super long arm and it's here or it's here, you've got a short arm, fine. But your arm should be, excuse me, fully extended. And it's nice and slow like that. It's not a race. That's the hand signal for kicking below the belt. And we say waist or belt, it's really kicking below the PSS, the protection and something system, the chest gear. Any questions about kicking below the chest gear, below the belt? Okay. Attacking after Kallyo. So Kallyo is when? When is Kallyo effective?
The hand goes down.
When the hand goes down. So I've been earlier in my referee career, I've been told my word come out before my hand comes down. So I think I got them in sync now. It's not the words that matter.
When the hand is finished extended.
Yes, when the hand is fully extended, and it's to your solar plexus, right? When you do it, it's in the middle, like a middle punch, right? Everyone do that with me, right? It's to the middle. Same other, yeah. When you're starting the round, it's in the middle. Okay. Kallyo, right? Now, kicking after Kallyo is a penalty, but it's kind of hard to figure out when. This is one of the more confusing rules. Kallyo is only effective when the arm is fully down. So, Ian and Master Josh, come here, please. So they're sparring, and William, go on that side, please. William is the center referee, and William is calling Kallyo, and it doesn't matter why right now. So he's calling Kallyo, but we're gonna do it in slow motion to demonstrate, very slow. And Ian, his foot is already up in the air, and now the Kallyo finishes, and now he lands the kick. Corner judges score it. Totally solid kick, totally valid, no doubt about it. Okay. Thomas, is that your name, sir? Thomas, do his points score? I'm sorry, we're talking about a penalty. Does he get a penalty for kicking after Kallyo?
No, because he kicked before the hand went all the way down.
Yes, his foot was off the ground. Okay, foot was off the ground in a kicking motion. So not this, not here. He sees the arm coming down and then starts it. But he's clearly in a kicking motion or a punching motion. You're allowed to finish the motion. There's no penalty for that. Okay, a variation of that is Ian's really good at sparring. His foot is already in the air. Kallyo finishes. Yeah. He kicks, and then he winds up and kicks him in the head. Okay, Gabby, attack after Kallyo. Why? Why no? Speak louder, please. He did 2 kicks, so his foot was off the ground, so it's okay. This is a hard one. Don't get me wrong. If you don't know, just say I don't know. Okay. The second kick was clearly a separate action, clearly after the arm was down. Maybe he's thinking, oh, I get a free one. I get a free head kick here. That is kicking after Kallyo. Or kick, come down, punch him in the chest. The second action is clearly after Kallyo is finished. Okay? So if in a situation like that, he would get the Kallyo for the second kick. Now, the second kick may miss. You give a Kallyo, William? And would you give a Gamjan for the second one? Second one.
Yes, sir. Because he tried to do it after I had already went Kallyo. So yes.
So maybe he was actually pulling back because he didn't want to kick the head. He could have, And he's like, oh, I better come back a little bit. He kind of leans back and misses. You give the gamjan?
No, sir.
So how do you know what his intention was? One scenario, he hits the head. One, he doesn't.
The other time, he knows to like stop because I had already said Kelio. So he's following the rules basically.
So the idea is, if the second kick, if it lands and you give a gamjan, but it doesn't land, I wouldn't give the gamjan, because in my mind, he's doing his best to avoid hitting him attacking after Kalyo. It's not much different than this. Pick your arms up, Josh. He says Kalyo, and I'm like, oh, geez, I pulled up. I didn't want to hurt him. Your arm was down, or I knew I was going to get a penalty. So you got to give some kind of credit to the kicker, especially if they actually retract it. I wouldn't give it in that case. Okay. So the idea is foot is off the ground or arm is in motion before the Kalyo finishes. Okay. So Thomas was right. Now the next question is, totally solid kick lands. Does he get to keep the points? Anybody know?
After Kalio, you're saying?
Yeah, Kalyo, Kalyo, and then kicks, but no penalty, right? No penalty. But corner judges tried really hard to score, and it's a valid kick. Does he get to keep the points? Remember, it takes the computer operator a second to hit stop. So this is all happening very quickly. Points go up. Let's say that. Points go up, 2 points, whether it's electronic or manual. Does he get to keep the points? You sure? Anybody say no? Anybody? Go ahead, Mark. Just speak up. Okay, we got a no over here. Mark, you say no?
I don't know, because if it always stops and if it gets the point, then does that really count? I just move the point when it gets scored after Kalyo.
So after Kalyo, no points. I want to say no penalties, but there are some exceptions to that. No points, and there's 3 things. But the point is, after Kalyo, you cannot score. So no, he wouldn't get to keep the points. And it's not tied to whether he gets a penalty or not. It's the fact that it's Kalyo. Kalyo clock stops. It could be totally legal. No attack after Kalyo, and his arm is so fast, and he says Kalyo, and the foot is here, and the computer operator hits pause, and he clocks him. No points. Because Kalyo means no points after that. The match is stopped. It's paused. Whether he gets a penalty or not doesn't change whether the points are earned or not, or stay up or not. Everyone understand that? So if the points do go up, you have to wave them off. And we'll talk about that a little later. Okay, attack after a Kalyo. William, can you show profile? Show the hand signal, please.
Song comes on.
So do the Chung Gamjang one time, and then stop.
Song comes on.
Okay, so the next move he's doing is he's essentially doing another Kalyo. Go ahead. And then he's making the X. I call it the big X. There's probably a name for it. Okay. He's not actually doing another comeback here. Do it one more time.
Song.
Just from here, it's just this slight motion to show it's a gamjan, it's a Kalyo, and then it's a penalty. That's attack after Kalyo. That's a hand signal. Okay. Again, we practiced so we had more time. Okay. Next is attacking the fallen opponent. Similar concepts, but different. Okay. Gabby and Miguel, please. And William, step back. And Mark, you're going to be our center referee. Gabby and Miguel are sparring. And Gabby lands an awesome kick somewhere on Miguel. And Miguel falls down. Now, he is fall in. He's on the ground. Normally, is he going to get a penalty? Normally, right? He's not out of bounds. He's fallen. He's down, right? He's down, and she's like, I got him right where I want him. And she comes over and kicks him somewhere. Just give him a fake kick. And she's like, bam, right? She wants to win bad. Or maybe body. But he's clearly on the ground. Does she get a penalty for kicking the fallen opponent? Because he was on the ground, right? Now, stay there. The variation is her foot is up. He's doing Kalyo. He's really slow, but her foot is up already. In a kicking motion, it's clear she wants to kick him. Arm goes down, and she finishes the kick. Did she kick the fallen opponent? Yeah, you say yes? Anybody else say yes? Anybody say no? Her foot was off the ground before Kallio finished.
Well, you said you can't score a point after.
We're talking about penalties, though, sir, not points right now. Penalties first. It's what? If it was emotion. Seems like maybe no penalty, maybe, right? So I struggled with this for years. I linked the two together because they're so similar. And I kept saying, well, attack after Kallio, your foot is in the air. It's allowed to finish, but not for kicking the fallen opponent. You have to do everything in your power to retract that kick. You have to. It doesn't matter where her foot is. It doesn't matter where his hand is. Even if it's totally down and she kicks, even if it's on the way down, if someone is on the ground, the opponent cannot kick them, period. It doesn't matter how they got there. It doesn't matter if they pulled you to the ground, if they twisted their ankle, if they got attacked by a parent. The other fighter cannot attack someone who's on the ground. Go ahead, Mark.
So as long as the one who's about to kick the fallen opponent stops midway, no gomjang?
There's no gomjang because she didn't kick him.
Yeah.
Now, there is a rule that attempting to kick is also a gomjang. So Miguel is on the ground, and she's like, well, I really want to intimidate him. So she does it like right in front of his face. Doesn't make contact. Just kicks him right in front of his face. That's not his face. Yeah, she does that. Like, I'm going to scare him, right? Do that, please. Yeah, it's clear it was intentional, right? And it was with malice. She's doing this. It's not a Taekwondo move. You give her the penalty. Attempting to kick the fallen opponent is a penalty. But again, he's down and she's like, oh, no penalty because she's retracting. Or there's times, especially when you're in close contact, where you like to stop yourself, you end up falling on them. Try to break your fall. Don't just put all your body weight on them. But that's not going to be a penalty because it's clear that you're stopping yourself, okay? Even though you do make contact. Now, hopefully she doesn't go down and knee him in the face on the way down. That'll be a penalty. Gabby doesn't fight like this, just so everyone knows. Just using her as an example. Yes, sir.
What if they step on them by accident?
So I'm totally off balance. Maybe he was pulling me down, which is very common. If I've done it, if I'm going down, I'm going to take them with me. At least they can't score. So he's pulling me down and I fall on him. I don't think that's a penalty because it was his action that caused it.
But let's say, I was sparring him and then he fell down, but then I was in the middle of something and then, I'm off balance too, and I need to put my foot down. So instead of putting it on empty space, I step on him in order to not fall.
Well, that's where the center referee is going to judge. Was there malice? Was it obvious? Is it in the groin? Is it in the face? Has it happened more than once? But, you can kind of tell. You can kind of tell if someone eases up, you can tell in their body language. So apply, and if it happened, I'd probably say, sir, next time, do your best. Even if I know he was doing his best, be careful. Don't fall on him. It's a warning, but it's to show the other coaches that I saw it. I'm not ignoring it. Make sense? Okay, you can stand up, Mikkel.
The idea of grabbing somebody as you're going down to avoid getting the penalty because you both go down, is that act of grabbing him a penalty?
That's grabbing. So yes, it is a penalty. So whether I'm grabbing here and yanking you around or grabbing your arm, if I'm grabbing here or here as I'm falling, I'm grabbing.
So then do you get two penalties, one for falling and one for grabbing?
Generally, you cannot get two penalties. There are some exceptions, and this is not one of them. Generally, one thing happens, out of bounds, falling, pushing, kicking low, kicking after Kallio or something, and you get one penalty. Okay.
So you simply wouldn't call the second person for going down because he was grabbed, and that's why he went down.
So the scenario is we're sparring, and you've just totally lost balance. You grab onto me, and you pull me back with you. And so what's the question now?
And we both go down.
We both go down. I only go down because of your action.
So I still get penalized for falling, but you don't because my grab caused you to go down.
Well, let's throw in a little wrinkle here. Referee is quick. He already says Kallio before either one of us touch the ground. So there's no falling penalty.
Okay.
But there may be a grabbing penalty on you. Okay. But the scenario where he has not called Kallio, you pull me to the ground, there has to be a little bit of judgment because maybe I'm the one that really caused it. I'm the one who put my weight into you. Maybe I gave you a little hook on the leg. So maybe I'm going to get a penalty for misconduct of some kind. Generally, if someone's on the ground, there's going to be a penalty. That's the general rule.
So are you saying one person can't get 2 penalties, but each person can get a penalty?
Yeah, there are exceptions where you can get 2 penalties, but
generally it's just
one.
for one.
Right. So the scenario where I'm sparring with Patrick, and come over here. He kicks me low, and then kicks me low again with his other leg. He gets 1 penalty for that. But he kicks me low, referee says call yo, and he kicks me again. That's one example where you can get the second penalty, attack after call yo. Because remember, after call yo, generally you kind of lower your guard a little bit. And you don't want to give someone an advantage. It was their first penalty, kicking low. Like that, then they say call yo, and then he gets me again. That's an example, attack after call yo being the second penalty. Make sense? Okay. We're going to do a few more, and we're going to take a break here. And William, the hand signal for attacking the fallen opponent?
Tom, comes on.
Yeah, a slight kick, probably put it down first, and then the big X that I call it.
Tom, comes on.
Kick and then X. Yeah, we don't want to fall down. We don't want to be doing this. Daniel LaRusso style. Okay. Now, there is a distinction between fall-in opponent and fall-ing, right? So there are times, I'm starting with Mark, he is falling, right? He's in some motion like this. He is totally fair game. No call you has been called. I can kick, punch, anything that I can normally do. He is just falling. And once he's fallen, I can't touch him. I remember seeing that one of my first tournaments. 2 black belts were sparring. Guy was going down, or he got kicked or something, goes like this. He's going down. The other kid just kicks him right in the face. I see a tooth fly out. Totally legal because he was falling, not fall in. So that happens. That happens, especially in really active fighters. One is falling and they get kicked. Okay. All right. Hitting the opponent's head with the hand. Generally, you don't touch their head. This is a penalty. This penalty. Right? Penalty. Headgear or head, chin, neck. That's a penalty. Now, there are exceptions where Mark is he's not a good sparrer. He's kind of out of control. And I'm going like this, and he ducks. Boom. No penalty on me. It was his carelessness that caused it. Yeah, so it happens a lot with little kids. Or something of that nature, where the person that got punched is the one who effectively caused it. Okay. Now, if it keeps happening, you still want to warn him, sir, stop making contact with this head. Punch the chest gear all you want, right? This is not a sanctioned event, so we can give those warnings a little more often because we want safety, right? And there's some kids that just don't have control. They're just at the head level constantly. They punch like this, and they hit the top of the chest gear and like the neck. Neck is not the head, but it's like part of it. So it's still illegal. You got to enforce that penalty because that's the safety thing. I've been punched in the face many times in matches. It's not fun, right? So it doesn't matter, right? I'm aiming for the chest. It's clear, but I'm just not a good sparrer. But it's clear. I was looking here. Doesn't matter. It's a penalty on me. Okay. There was another example. I can't think of it right now. Okay. The hand signal for punching the face is to the side. So chung, gamjong, make a fist and just come to the side. All right. There's no wind up. It's not fist out. It's fingers down. So chung, gamjong. Just you've already got it in the fist. Just bring it to your face. Right. Knuckles facing your cheeks. Cheek. That's punch. Okay. Now, if these are little kids, you probably want to call the medic. Okay. If they're like this, call the medic. We don't want kids going home with concussions because we let them go. Adults, a little different. I get punched in the face. Okay, I'm good, sir. I'm an adult. We can keep fighting. But if they're like this, Do not let them continue. And especially if they're doing this, just call the medic, even for adults. Safe, better safe than sorry. Okay? Grabbing, attack the face. Okay. Headbutting is a penalty. Bam, penalty. Attacking with the knee, put your arms up. Bam, penalty. Now, I'm doing a regular roundhouse, and he comes in, comes straight towards me. Bam. Do I get a penalty? I didn't attack with the knee. He moved into it. I've had IRs call that against me, and I look at them like, can't you tell he came in? Okay. Or, it doesn't say it, or blocking with the knee is also a penalty. So he's doing a left leg roundhouse, penalty. If you're flexible and you can lift it up to block, it's a penalty. Now, if we're both kicking, it's not a penalty. This is a kick, it's not a block. This is not in the rule book, but people who block like this, I'd give them misconduct. This is not a Taekwondo move. Okay? Attacking or blocking with the knee is a penalty, and the hand signal is just touching your knee. So, hung, gamjang, you make this knife hand, and nice and slow, and don't touch your knee. Don't make contact. Chung, gamjang, knee up, hand down, but don't touch. That's the hand signal. Blocking or attacking. Any questions on attacking or blocking with the knee?
What signal would you do for this?
I'd do misconduct. Yeah. I'd probably give a warning on that because it's not in the rule book that I'm aware of. But it's not. It's definitely not a move. It's not. It's not much different than Miguel kicks me, and I block, and I punch him in the kneecap. It's not an illegal move. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay. Let's take. Okay. Go ahead.
No warnings for open hand blocks.
What's the scenario? What's an open hand block?
Let's say he's kicking me, and I block with that.
Why is that a penalty?
But no, I'm saying no, nothing.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if someone wants to block open hand, I don't recommend it, but that's fine. Okay, let's take a break. Let's try to keep it to 5 minutes, okay? All right, everyone, thank you. And I want to clarify, there was a comment by someone online, and we're going to come to this later, but when I say if someone touches the ground, there's usually a penalty. We've gone over some of the exceptions. So if Kalyo and you hit the ground, there's no penalty for falling. Might be another penalty. If they both fall before Kalyo, no penalty for falling. If I go out of bounds with not my feet but my body, okay, that is falling. It's not out of bounds. But the other exception is spinning kicks. Okay, so Miguel and Mark, come here. Mark, come here, face him. They're sparring, and Mark does a turning kick to the body, just back spinning kick or whatever, to the body. That's not the body. And it scores. Corner judges score it. Okay? And then he falls down. Okay? Kalyo, stand up. I tell him stand up because he fell. Now, does he get a penalty for falling? No, because? Speak louder, please.
Because we encourage spinning kicks, so no penalties for spinning.
If the turning kick lands and it's 4 points, right? Sometimes it looks like a turning kick, but it's not. He put his foot down and they only give 2. So it has to be a valid 4-point turning kick to the body or valid 6-point head kick to the head. Then immediately the kicker falls. There is no penalty for falling because we want to encourage the more difficult techniques. Turning kicks are some of the most difficult techniques we do. Okay? So if he does a turning kick and only 2 score and falls, you're the center referee, you should know. Did only 2 score or did 4? If you're not sure, you have to ask. You're thinking, I probably would have scored that, but only 2 went up. No corner judges are standing to award points. There's no challenges from the coach. Stand up, chung, gamjang. I give him a penalty for falling because only 2 points went up on the board. Now, coach then stands up, and his coach, his coach stands up and says, 2 points for turning. And we go through that process, and he's awarded the extra 2 points. Then we're going to take off the penalty. Sorry for keep turning my back to the camera. We're going to take off the penalty. Chung. gamjang. That takes off the penalty. Now, a lot of times the person at the desk at the computer probably has no idea what you're doing. Walk over there and tell them, I'm taking the penalty off of blue that I just gave him. Okay? So same thing for a back turning kick to the head. If it's a valid 4 or 6 point kick and then falls right away, no penalty for falling. But he falls down. It's all valid. I see the 4 or 6. Stand up. I have no intention of giving him a penalty, but I still have to tell him to stand up. Maybe he hit his head on the ground. He's unconscious. Maybe he's just stalling because he's out of breath. I still need to have him stand up because there is a time limit. He gets essentially 9 seconds to stand up. So if he's not standing up, disobeying commands of the referee, he may get disqualified, but he's not going to get a penalty. I think that's how it works. I'm not exactly sure. The idea being he's not following your commands. Not that he would get a penalty for falling and then disqualified. This is a little tricky. I'm not exactly sure. But I still tell him to stand up. I confirmed that it's a valid kick. Okay, so there's no explanation. There's nothing to wave off. It's just continue. Everyone should know the rules. But he is fallen at that point. So he comes back and kicks him. He's a fallen opponent. Miguel's going to get a penalty for that. That doesn't change. We still have to protect the fallen opponent. Everyone understand that? Anyone? Speak up, please. Okay. So that's one of the exceptions to falling. Okay, thank you, Mark. Go back. Okay. We're going to do the next part. And we actually have one of our medics here somewhere. Okay. She'll come out in a minute. Counting. There are situations when you have to count. Hard kick to the body or hard kick to the head. And the person who got kicked is staggered, bleeding, broken bones, totally winded, cannot continue, would be unsafe if you didn't stop it. Kalyo. And they're still doing this, not from a groin kick, not from an illegal kick, low kick, but clearly a good body shot. Maybe it was low, but you're pretty sure it hit the body. You got to count. So right hand to your left shoulder, thumb out like this, and in Korean, hana. So go ahead and do it with me. So you're flipping to the side, William. It's like this, yeah. And then back to your shoulder, hana, dual, set, net, dasa, and now it's 5, open hand. Don't close your hand. Let the opponent know it's 5. And then you keep the hand up and you continue with your other hand. Okay, stop there. If you count, you can put your arms down. If you count, 99% of the time, you're going to go to 8. There are exceptions to that. But if you start counting, go to 8. You cannot go wrong going to 8. And the athlete's like, I'm good, sir. I'm good. I'm ready to fight. You count to 8. The coach is like, he's good. He wants to fight. You count to 8. Now, if he's cursing you out and attacking you, you can stop counting and give him some other penalty. But the idea is you count to 8 every time. If you count to 8 every time, you'll be fine. Now, if they're totally unconscious, maybe they got blood coming out, you don't have to count to 8. The match is over. Okay. 99% of the time, you're going to count to 8. Okay. Now, body or head. I've seen it many times, especially little younger kids. Strong punch to the body. And, count to 8. Or they're like, maybe it was a strong kick to the body, but they're like this. Count to 8. It's recovery period. It's safety. You can't have them standing up going like this and telling them to fight. That's counting to 8. Now, if they're totally out of it and you get to 8, you go to 10. If they put their head up at 9, it's too late. If you count to 9, you have to go to 10. Unless the idea that they're on the ground like dead. Then you don't have to go to 10. But if you go to 9, you have to go to 10. But you don't ever stop at 9. Very few exceptions. Okay? Now, generally, they got to be up like this, and generally they're saying something. I'm good, sir. I'm good. Then you can stop at 8. They're good, right? I had this once where Chelsea, come here. It was a girl. Somebody used Chelsea. I've seen this girl spar many times. I don't know her name or anything, but she was like, 14, 15 years old, and she got kicked really hard. I think it must have been full head contact. And she stood like this. Head down, hands down. She wasn't dizzy. She wasn't going like this. And I counted and we're supposed to make eye contact. So I'm supposed to be going like this, and she turns around, and I go like this as I'm counting, and hopefully, don't exaggerate. Hopefully they're not doing that because you got to keep moving. And you keep putting your hand in front of their face. But she just stood there like this. She showed no desire to fight. Maybe she looked at me just a little, but her hands were down. She's kind of going like this. I counted to 10. Coach was mad. And I told the ring captain what happened, and that was it. No sign of wanting to fight. I mean, she could have had a concussion for all I know. You send someone back out there with a concussion, man, you're in trouble as a referee. If she went like this, I would have let her go. If she said, good, sir, I'm good. One of those two is usually the key. Good, I'm sir, ma'am, I want to fight. Or hands up, you're engaged. That's good enough. Stop at 8. Girl didn't do any of that. I don't think she wanted to be there, frankly, but, so I counted to 10, and that was it. I'd rather, you got to be very careful, though. Be honest here. This was a sanctioned tournament, so I had to be very careful. You don't really want to count to 10 unless you have to, because match is over and a lot of bad things happen when you count to 10. So try to be sure that you should count to 10. If you're not sure, stop at 8. Go to your ring captain and ask, should I finish counting? It's not the proper way to do it, but better that than to count to 10 and get in the position I was in and have to defend yourself. Okay, thank you. So now we have our medic. Medic, come here, please. We're going to give you a special mat. Stand on the mat. This is Francine, everyone, Chariot Balcounier. She's our 2nd degree black belt here in our school. She's also a medic, and I believe she's our head medic for the tournament. So she has done this many years in a row. She knows the basics, and not just the basics, but she knows what to do. But we're going to use her as an example, and she's going to act out some of the medic stuff. We're going to shortcut it a little bit. We're not going to do the whole thing. But the idea is, if there's an injury or what could be an injury, you call the medic. Call you, medic. All of us, right hand, medic. Medic. Loud, medic. Medic. Stop at your head. Don't go past your head. Put your thumb in. Make a knife hand. Medic. 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 Where's the medic?
Where's the medic?
You got to say that sometimes. And if there's no medic coming and you're a corner judge, go find the medic. Get up and go find the medic. Sometimes they go and hide out. Sometimes they're stationed like way in the corner. I always tell them, get in the middle. And when you get to the tournament, you should know where the medic is. Okay, medic is in that corner, because you're going to call medic several times during the day. The medic should come to the ring, come to the edge. And I think there's some special rule, like the center referee is supposed to tell them to come in, but generally they just come in. And then you tell them, Miguel, quickly, Miguel. Okay, he got kicked hard in the head right here. You tell the medic what happened, and then she'll come over here and she'll start examining. Pretend, please. Right, she's doing her evaluation, whatever medics do. We're not medics. She's doing whatever she needs to do. Talk to him. She's evaluating him, right? Maybe there's blood, maybe concussion. She's doing her job. You let her do her job. She may look over and say, what happened? Because the kid can't explain it. He got kicked in the head. He got punched in the face. He got low kick in the knee. Got kicked in the groin. And she'll evaluate, okay? Now, as she's evaluating, we were supposed to say K-she to the computer operator, and it's a 1-minute clock. Stay here, stay here. It counts up. It should count down, but it counts up to 1 minute. When it gets to 45 seconds and she's still evaluating, you say 45. And she's supposed to know, I only got 15 seconds left. But she's evaluating. It gets to 50. 50. Just do it like that. When it gets to 55, 55, what is the decision? This is the point you come and interrupt. Now, if she's like doing something, putting a bandage on or a wrap, you don't really have to interrupt. It's kind of obvious there's a problem. Ma'am, what's your evaluation? So she'll speak loud and clear and say, he can't continue. Do it, please. You can't continue. Now, sometimes medics are wrong. She totally misunderstood. The athlete doesn't know what's going on. They speak a different language. And you might think, really? All it was just a little touch right here? Really? And if they say he can't continue, that's it. It's over. But maybe she's like, what do you mean got kicked? He just told me he got kicked in the head. He told me he's dizzy. Now, what may be happening is the kid is saying, I'm scared, nurse. I don't want to go back. And she's like, okay, he can't continue. That's not a medical disqualification. Medical is he cannot continue because of an injury, whether it's caused by the attacker or by his own actions of falling or something else. So just to be clear, why can't he continue? And you'll say?
He's in pain, 8 over 10.
8 out of 10.
Yeah.
But is anything broken?
No, but he cannot go back to the ring because he's dizzy.
Okay, he's dizzy and in a lot of pain. Okay, that's enough. Generally, we don't question him like that, but I have questioned him, especially if you think the medic is totally doesn't even know what they're talking about. I've seen this happen many times. Medic just doesn't understand. Question them. You sure? Maybe you'd like to have your senior medic take a look, especially if it's an important match, especially if because this is going to change the outcome. He may have been losing and he may end up winning the match because of this, and he's taking advantage of it. So sometimes it's okay to question, but generally we don't. If they say no, then it's no. And if they say yes, we can still override that. We can override the yes because we're in charge of safety. So she may say, yeah, he's good. It's just his foot hurts real bad. And then he comes back out and he's not only doing this with his foot, but he's going like that. All she did was evaluate the foot pain. She didn't realize he was dizzy. Then we can stop it if we need to. Or I would come back, ma'am, he says he's dizzy. Did you check him? And she goes, oh, I didn't tell me he was dizzy. So we need to have this interaction, right? We're all adults. We should all be able to question this, okay? Again, I've seen it happen many times. The medic makes the wrong evaluation, and then the fighter comes out either where they shouldn't be, or they say he can't, and then they're back there with their friends high-fiving. I've seen that happen. The kid says he was injured, and he's looking at his coach. He's like that. The coach comes over. No, he can't finish. I said, sir, he just gave you a thumbs up. I didn't say that, but that's what's in my head, right? So we don't want someone taking advantage of the system and potentially getting a win out of it, okay? Now, another scenario. Go back, Miguel. Ian and Isaac come in the middle. They're now 8-year-old boys. And one of them just gives a kind of a slap to the face or a light touch maybe with a fist. Call you, medic. And I use my right hand, medic. I don't really know if he's injured, but face contact with 8-year-olds, you want to get the medic. Medic, and she'll come in, and I do Keishi, the computer operator, and I say he got punched in the face, right? Now I'm 99% sure he's not gonna have to stop, right? But now, and I come over here and I give him the penalty, and she's talking to him, and then she comes over, or I say, okay, what's the evaluation? And she says he's too afraid. He's just afraid. He said his dad made him come. Right, that's what she tells me. That's what she tells me. Okay, but does he have a concussion?
No.
Okay, so he can continue. Okay, so we bow to our medic. We show them respect as well to the medic, and then he thinks, "Wow, I got out of this. I didn't want to be here anyway." And then we come over and we have them continue fighting. I might ask, depends on how old they are. Okay, do you want to continue? And you say, no, not really, sir. I kind of really wanted to go home. Right? Now, if he doesn't want to continue, we don't make them fight. He's basically, in that case, I go to the coach. Coach, he says he doesn't want to continue. Okay? Especially if they're younger. If they're adults, it's different. If the adult says, I don't want to fight, it's over. Call you or come on, and you make the decision based on the action. But kids, I've done go over, I say, okay, match is over, and the coach is like, what are you doing? He's like, the kid doesn't even speak English. I'm like, oh, he's just nodding his head. So I learned that lesson. Go to the coach. Like I say, unless it's an adult. Now, if it's an adult and there's a language barrier, maybe ask the coach, okay? Or ask their teammate that's there cheering him on. He says he doesn't want to continue because he's scared. Are you sure? And it might be a language barrier. So don't disqualify someone for that just because they, could be some miscommunications. Okay. Okay. Now, the third scenario, switch sides, is a strong kick to the groin. Boom, and he goes down hard. He's on the ground. Medic. She comes in. We say Keishi. Everyone do Keishi, right hand. Right, from here to there. Yeah, so your palm is facing you and then it's facing away. Medic, okay, strong kick to the groin, right? So she's evaluating. She's probably down on her knees talking to him. And we say, okay, 45, 50, 55. And she may look up and like, no, he's not continuing. But there's a situation where I say, okay, what's the evaluation? And she says, he's good, but I got to stop the bleeding. There was a scratch. So what we do, I forget the word. We tell them to stop the keishi, shigan with an X, which stops the keishi, and then we say keishi again. They get another 1 minute. She has 1 minute to stop the bleeding. That's it. This is not recovery time. This is not the groin kick really hurts. I need another minute. There just happens to be blood. This is the medic needs time to get the blood, or maybe there's some vomit, to clean up the mat. It is not our job to clean up mats with any bodily, blood, vomit, or anything. That's the medic's jobs, or if there's a cleanup crew. She has 1 minute to finish that. Now, we don't really want to disqualify him because it takes a minute and a half. It's a local tournament. We'll give him more time. But if you have a feeling it's going to take 2, 3, 4 minutes, then we stop it because that minute, the second minute has finished. Or the medic, it's just a lot of blood that has to be cleaned up. It got spread all over the mat. We don't want to disqualify him just because the medic has maybe taken a long time. Okay? Most of the medics at the tournament will have done previous tournaments, so they have a pretty good idea of the rules of this 1 minute. So when we say 45, 50, 55. Sometimes the medic will say, I got to take him back over there to wrap an ace bandage around his ankle and around his wrist, and I'll come back in 10 minutes. No, because that second minute is now gone. Okay? But, we give a little leeway on that second minute. We just don't want him sitting there and then recovering physically and stamina-wise when it's not warranted. You think about boxers and MMA. I mean, they get killed and they get back up. They get a medic in between rounds. Steven?
So what do you do in that case where, let's say they're trying to stop bleeding, but it just keeps going? Do you end the match?
Yeah, they get that second minute, and that second minute is intended for cleanup, stopping the bleeding, getting a bandage on. But if it's going to take longer than that, we just at the end of the second minute, the match is over. Well, I haven't told you who won and who lost yet. I'm just dealing with the medic right now, interaction with the medic. If she says, I need 5 minutes to stop the bleeding, then it's over, because that's past 2 minutes. I'll get to you in a minute, okay? Okay, Master Josh.
What do you say, sir? We were at a tournament, our last tournament. I was refereeing for 2 girls. They're both black belts and slight hand contact. One got hit too hard, and then we stopped the match. We called the medic. The girl that got hit was medically cleared, and afterwards, before we were starting to fight, she said, I don't want to continue. Do I disqualify her for refusing to fight, or do I disqualify the other girl for it?
Well, we'll talk about those scenarios, but let's deal with, while we have Francine here, let's deal with how to interact with the medics, okay? Sometimes the medics are spread thin, and he's down, and you're calling the medic, and they're like, the medic's over there, there's 5 other kids hurt. It's not the athlete's fault. So we don't say keishi until the medic enters the ring. So in that scenario, he's going to get a lot of time to recover. He or she is going to get a lot of time to recover. Now, hopefully there's no blood, because I don't want any of us kneeling down and trying to address. Now, if you happen to know medical things and you want to, it's up to you. Of course, if it was a serious injury, if you know CPR or something, of course, go ahead and apply it. But we should not be tending to them because we're not medics, okay? And if there's a shortage of medics, they just have to sit, okay? So their 1 minute hasn't started. Their 1 minute may not start for 5 minutes. So finally, she comes over. Keishi, now the minute starts. She evaluates. He could be totally fine by then. He's up. He's ready to go. You cannot, once you call the medic, let the medic come. Because all of a sudden, if you're like, oh, it wasn't that bad. Okay, you ready to go? Now you're making a medical decision, and we're not medics. Okay? If you called the medic, you wait until the medic comes, let the medic do their job, let the medic do the evaluation. Imagine that person gets back in the ring and there's a serious injury because we didn't call. The medic would have said, well, had I been here, I would have told you he had a sprained ankle, or I would have told you he had blood coming out of a certain part of his body that we can't see, that they can see. Okay, so now she's here, the minute is going, and whether he needs the extra minute or not. So it could be a 5 or 10 minute thing if we're waiting for medics. Hopefully not, but it could be. Okay, any other questions about what to say to medics, what to do with medics, how to interact? Okay, Francine, any comments you want to add? Okay, one thing that comes up every once in a while is a bloody nose, and they put a little cotton thing up there. They can fight with that in their nose. It's okay. Now, if it's popping out repeatedly and blood is coming out, it's different. But if they stick it out there and it stays, they can continue. Okay, everyone, let's face our medic. Chariot, Balconier. Okay, thank you, Francine. Okay, I want to come back to Josh's question. Wasn't everyone? You can go ahead and sit down if you want. I want to come back to penalties. I want to cover one area we didn't cover, is misconduct. So misconduct can be a parent or a coach. Not really the audience. We can't really punish the audience for anything. Now, if the audience is inside of the barrier, it's a little different story, but if they're outside the barrier, you can't really control them. Hope you don't mind. Okay. Misconduct, okay? There's obvious misconduct, such as bad language, that you understand. If they're cursing in another language and you don't know it, you can't really say it's bad language. Now, if another corner judge comes over and says, you realize he's cursing you out in this language or that language, and you trust that corner judge, then you can give them a penalty. But if they're just cursing you and you don't understand, it's not really something that's that bad, okay? But again, if it's disrupting the match and other corner judges are like, wow, he's using those words in another language, that's a problem. You give a penalty for that. Those things are kind of obvious, right? Pushing or touching the referee or the athlete is inappropriate. And they can have misconduct against their own athlete. Come on, man, get in there, fight harder. You're terrible at sparring. That's probably misconduct, even though it's their own athlete. Okay? In that case, I'd probably give a warning because there's no 4-letter words. He's not touching him. If he slapped him and said, work harder, that's different. That's misconduct. I'd probably come over and say, sir, you need to tone it down, or ma'am, you need to tone it down. You're being inappropriate. There's other athletes here, especially if they're younger and a coach is doing that. But some coaches are like that, and that's how they come up in their school, so we can't necessarily punish them for that. But if they're doing that to the other athlete, it's easier because it's not their own athlete, okay? If they're going like this in your face, you're horrible, horrible center referee. Those corner judges are the worst I've ever seen. Probably misconduct, right? Now, if he comes up and whispers, or she, I keep saying he, but she, you're the worst. And those corner judges are the worst. I don't think that's misconduct. That's just them sharing their opinion with you. Okay? Now, you're not allowed to give your opinion of them. Don't reply. Right? Later, with the corner judges and your other judges, you can have a conversation. Oh, yes, ma'am. I've been told that before. Yes, ma'am. There are a lot of referees that aren't good. But it doesn't mean they're right. It doesn't mean you change anything. What happens more frequently with experienced coaches is they will say, sir, I've been coaching and doing Taekwondo for 25 years. My player is kicking solid kicks, and you're not scoring them. These corner judges are not paying attention. This guy's looking over at the other match. This guy's half asleep. Sir, you need to tell the corner judges to score for my fighter. Does anyone think that's misconduct? Why? Well, not yelling, but maybe right in front of you. Maybe it's a little loud. He's asking for us to do our jobs. I don't think that's misconduct. In my example, I'm being respectful. I'm calling sir, your corner judges are not, didn't you see it? You're standing right there. I know you know how to score. Why aren't your corner judges scoring, sir? This is not appropriate. That's not disrespectful. Now, if they do it constantly and they're wrong, if they're right, it's one thing, right? If they're right, you got to fix it. I mean, there's been times when I'm the center referee, kick, and I look up thinking, this kid's got a lot of points. He's got like none. I'm thinking, what's going on here? And then the coach calls it out. The coach is right. Now, 4-letter words coming in, other things like that, that's misconduct. But telling you their opinion, again, maybe they've challenged, maybe not. Maybe it's in between rounds. They don't have to challenge to ask to talk to you. It doesn't mean you have to allow it. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But out of courtesy, you should allow it. So what's the problem? Oh, okay. Now, don't ever agree with them and say, yeah, I saw that too. Don't ever do that. Okay? But especially if you see it, call a meeting. Guys, girls, ladies, gentlemen, why aren't you scoring for blue? And it's rhetorical, right? I see blue scoring left and right. How come blue doesn't have any points? And maybe there's a reason. And they're like, well, sir, there's no power behind it. Oh. Or, sir, they're all low. They're really not even touching the chest gear. What are you looking at? It's okay. But a lot of times you know as a center referee that the corner judges don't know. It's not a secret. Okay? And if you see this happening, call a meeting and tell them. Now, again, you don't do this at a sanctioned match. A local match, we want to get the right result. We want the right kid to win, especially gold. You know, 2 people are going to get bronze. If they should have got silver, we don't like it, but it's not the worst thing in the world. But when the best person doesn't win gold, it's horrible, especially when they're right. You know, when it's Pumse and intuitive one, it's kind of hard to say. But when it's sparring and you know they're right and everyone in the gym knows they're right, you got to fix it. I've done that many times. Why aren't you scoring? Both of them are kicking left and right. Why aren't you scoring? It's okay to do that. Now, if the corner judge is a higher level than you, you have to be careful, right? Sir, I think blue should be getting more points. Is there a reason blue's not getting more points? So you have to be respectful with whoever you're in the ring with. Right? Just because you're the center referee doesn't mean you have any authority over anybody. Okay? But when you're if you're the center referee and you're a higher level referee than the others, just tell them. Okay? Any questions on that? Right? We want to get the right result. Okay, not complying with the referee's command or decision. Okay, sir, I heard your complaint. Your challenge was rejected. That's enough of that. No, you should have accepted my challenge. That's misconduct. They're not listening to your commands to sit down and let's continue the match. Okay? Decision. My decision is that, you know, I called out of bounds. You don't have a challenge card. You can't challenge it. That's my decision. Let's sit down and let's continue the match. Oh, but he wasn't out of bounds. Look, I got video. As soon as they argue, it's misconduct. Now, after the match, and it's like a 1-point difference, and that difference would have won or lost for that, you know, changed the outcome, you know, you give a little more time because the match is over. But in the middle of match, we don't want this. We don't want delays. And a lot of coaches do it as a delay tactic to get their athlete more time. We don't want to give them that. Inappropriate attempts to disturb or influence the outcome of the match. I'm sure you've all been there. That was great. Where's the score? And you're the corner judge, and what are you immediately thinking? Anybody? You're immediately thinking, wow, maybe I should have scored that. Maybe I'll score that next time, even though I'm not sure. We don't want this influencing the match. Now, again, if they're right, they're right. And if you hear them and you're like, wow, maybe they're right. Yeah, I'm going to pay a little closer attention. That's different. But especially if you're the center referee and you're like maybe secretly in agreement that they should have been scored, probably you don't want to give a penalty because it's not an inappropriate attempt to disturb the match. It's an accurate statement. Now, it really depends. It depends on how loud they are. It depends on how much they're moving around. It depends on how big the difference is. If their athlete is losing and 2 points makes no difference with 3 seconds to go, that's more, sir, the 2 points don't make a difference. Sir, we need to continue this. Now, if it makes a difference, you know, a 5th penalty or something, that's different. You give a little more leeway. Okay. Provoking or insulting the opposing contestant or coach. Coach, will you teach your kids to kick low? That's horrible. I would just give the misconduct right away. Talking to the other coach, other than friendly talking, should not be done. And should not be talking to the other player. Come on, man, you're kicking low all the time. I would just give a misconduct right away. It's amazing. You give misconducts, coaches stop almost immediately. Okay, any questions about misconduct of the, and same with the contestant, same with the athlete. Come on, ref, he keeps grabbing me. Why aren't you calling it? If you secretly agree with him, probably not a penalty. But if you don't agree, maybe a penalty, right? Maybe you say, you know what? Don't address me. Continue the match. Now, second, that's a warning. That's an example of a warning, because it wasn't really flagrant. But, sir, I'll call the penalties. I'll do my job. You fight. Second time they do it, probably give a misconduct penalty. It's amazing. They just stop. Because 5 penalties, they lose the round, right? Best 2 out of 3 rounds. We all know that now. 5 penalties, lose the round. Okay. Any questions at all? Misconduct, opponent, or athlete? Okay. Counting. We talked about counting. If you start counting, how high do you have to go most of the time? 8. If you get to 9, are you allowed to stop? No. If the opponent is on the ground, eyes closed like this, do you need to count, Mark? No. You might want to. You might at least want to start. Maybe your ability to judge a knockout is not good. Hana, duel. They're not moving. Their eyes are not open. You can stop. Okay. Hard kick to the head, teeth flying, blood flying. Call you for sure. Probably count because they're up. And maybe they don't care about their teeth and are willing to continue. But down, concussion, knocked out, they're not going to recover in 10 seconds. Okay, you don't have to count. Okay, junior safety rules. It used to be called junior safety rules. They now call it modified head contact. I like junior safety rules better. It's JSR, right? It's light contact. There's a whole chart. There'll be a chart at the table of what's allowed, what's not. When it's modified head contact, and this kind of goes back to Josh's question a little bit, Master Josh, it means if it's too hard to the head, it's a penalty on the kicker. You don't ever count a head kick for modified head contact, ever. If it's too hard, if it's so hard they have to count, it's a penalty, and you're not supposed to count. I can't get counted out because my opponent kicked me too hard on modified head contact. It's impossible. I think it's impossible. There might be some scenarios. I saw it. I saw it 2 weeks ago at the tournament. 2 kids, modified contact. Kid gets kicked too hard. She counted to 8, and then the center ref, and then she turned around and gave a gamjang for misconduct for kicking too hard. But a strong body kick in every division, you can count. Okay? You have to know if it's a no contact division or a light contact division or a full contact division. You have to know every single match. Because if you don't know, and I've done this before, you make assumptions. Oh, they must be old enough. And then you get out there and you're doing it wrong. So also for the no head contact division, any head contact you do not count. Okay? Okay. Any questions about counting? Okay. So the question Master Josh asked, go ahead and ask it one more time, please.
For junior safety rules, one girl got kicked in the face too hard.
So blue kicks red too hard to the head, okay?
Blue kicks red too hard. And then, so we called the medic.
Okay.
She was medically cleared.
So red was medically cleared to continue, even though she got kicked hard in the head, okay?
And then before we started to say Sicha to continue the match, red refused to fight.
Red, so the medic, and then red basically says, hey, I'm done. I don't want this anymore. Okay. So you would, again, it depends on their age, depends on the severity of that previous kick. You might want to talk to the coach. Coach, she says she doesn't want to continue, or, you know, because you don't want to just stop it. They paid all this money, they traveled all this way, and again, some miscommunication. So once you're 100% clear, they're not fighting. Okay, we say, come on, right? Come on is to end a round, any round, or to end, yeah, you're ending the round if someone's withdrawing. So anybody can withdraw. They can come out at the beginning and say, you know, I really don't feel like fighting. That's a withdrawal. Okay, everyone, let's stand up. Okay, let's face our referee chairperson. Everyone, Chiriat, Balcunier. Okay, Maybe she'll come out and give us a few words a little bit later. Okay, you can stand or sit, whatever you want. The question has to be answered, what's the outcome of the match? All right, so we're gonna practice some pumse here and separate these two. So the idea is we have 3 pumse judges, and in a sanctioned tournament you might have 5, but most local tournaments have 3. And we're going to raise our hands. We might have flags, I'm not sure. Basically, we're going to raise our hands to determine or to designate the winner. So can I have 3 of you take these judges' chairs? Whoever likes pumse the most, take these chairs. Okay. Okay, who else really likes pumse? Please don't be shy. Gabby, go over next to older Miguel. Okay. Now, pumse is a lot more subjective than sparring. Sparring has points that go up. Pumse has arms that go up. If it's a good pumse and it's obvious who the winner is, it's going to have 3 judges. When they're kind of close, it's going to be 2-1. Okay, but when it's 3-0, it's obviously a little more clear cut. And there's not a lot to talk about here. There's commands we can talk about. There's English and there's Korean words. And in the information I sent out, there's a list of the terminology. And there's more than one way to do this. Please don't think this is in any way authoritative. There's more than one way. This is just the way I like to do it. So we have our 3 judges, and we have a coordinator. So Gabby will be our coordinator. Coordinator stands here. Now, we don't have an actual mat to show you. A coordinator stands in the corner. Now, the proper way is to face this way. I don't understand why if the athletes are there, to be honest. Let's scoot those chairs back. I don't understand why we look this way. So for our tournament, we're going to look this way and towards the middle. Okay. Open your hands. And the chairs represent the athletes that are waiting to come on the mat. So let's push them all the way back. These are the next group of kids to do pumse. We don't always have chairs like this, but it's a little easier to illustrate. So can I have 2 volunteers to sit in these chairs? They're next up. They're next up, right? Judges are ready. The coordinator is ready. Sometimes we call this calling. She's calling the signals. But generally, it comes out as coordinator. Okay? Her job is probably just as important as the 3 judges. Because if she gives inappropriate or incorrect commands, the athletes get confused and may interrupt or may cause them to perform poorly. So when you're in the tournament next weekend, if you don't know how to do this and your ring captain says you're going to do the coordinating, say, sir or ma'am, I've never done this before, I don't know how to do it, but I'm willing to learn. Hopefully you follow up with I'm willing to learn. Do not just do it because you were told to do it. If you don't know, don't do it. Okay? But I recommend all of you take the opportunity to learn it. Okay? And you can learn just by watching. Okay? There are 4 main commands. There's more than one way to do this. If you can memorize the 4 main commands, you'll be fine. There are 3 other ones that would be nice to know, but you can learn those later. And a lot of you are instructors in your school, or at least you help with the kids, and you probably say these 4 commands over and over and over and don't even realize it. Okay? It's kind of like if we were going to practice pumse, we're all lined up facing the mirror, and the instructor, first thing he says is, chariot. Everyone who is standing, everyone chariot with me. And then, if you're standing, and then we say kunye, we bow. And then we say junbi, and junbi is getting ready, right? Ready stance. And then shijak is start. Chariot, kunye, junbi, shijak. If you remember, if you can memorize those 4, or however many numbers there are words, between now and Saturday, you'll be way ahead. The other commands we won't worry about. You do them over and over and over, you just don't even realize it. Now, if you're just a regular student and you don't teach a lot, you don't do it that often. So we need the kids or the competitors to enter the ring, right? So we're now ready, right? And she's probably the coordinators matched up. Okay, you're Josh, you're Miguel. You always have to make sure you got the right competitors, especially little kids. They just nod their heads to everything. They should have a badge, you know, okay, so you're Josh, and they'll be like, yeah, and then someone else raises their hand, no, I'm Josh. Now, maybe they have the same name, it's just a coincidence. Make sure you figure it out. And call them by their, if they have any kind of common first name, use their last names. Are you Josh Smith or Josh Jones? Because he may be Josh, but he's not the one that's supposed to be competing. The other Josh is over here doing something else. I've seen this happen, trust me. I've seen it happen at state championship. Because the judge went over and said, are you Alyssa? And how many girls in that gym were named Alyssa? Probably 30. And she said, yeah. And there was another Alyssa in the bracket. So they went out of order. Total mess. You always have to know who your opponents, who the kids are. Now, what I like to do is have them wait on the warning area, right? This is the warning area for sparring. Have them wait outside the mat, not inside the mat. Have them wait outside the mat. And they should know where to go. Now, little kids don't know. But if you line them up here, generally, you line them up so they can walk straight. Don't put the chair in that corner because they can't walk straight. And if there's no chair, put them here. Okay, you're Miguel, right? Okay. Miguel, you're going to go right here. And I would tell Josh, you're going to go right there. So they can just walk forward. You don't want them starting next to each other. Now, if they want to start from the edge and they got this whole routine with their coach, let them. It doesn't really matter how they enter the mat, the ring. But if they don't know anything about it, put them in a straight line and let them just go straight in. Okay. So now we have to tell them to enter the ring. Okay. So I'm going to do it with Gabby. So if you don't know, you can use your left hand. And we're kind of pointing to the middle of them. If you don't know what to say, you say enter. And hopefully they will listen. Enter. Okay, come on. It's your turn to compete. Enter. Right? The Korean terminology is chiljong. Okay? I don't know if it's the exact same word, but Taeguk 7 is chiljong, right? It's not. It's a different word, but I don't know. In my head, it makes sense. Chiljong. As I say, chiljong. Again, if you know the proper way to say it, the proper enunciation, please use it. And if they're standing like, huh? Come on. Let's go ahead. It's your turn to compete. Right? Don't let them sit on the edge or stand on the edge. Get them in there. If they don't understand, walk up to them. Okay, I'm here. But as they get older, they should be able to follow our commands, right? And so Gabby's right. She's in chariot, right? Her legs are feet together. So we've told them come in. Now here's the 4 commands. And also remember, left arm, right arm, right arm. Everyone, left arm, right arm, right arm. Say it, say it, say it.
Left arm, right arm, right arm.
So there's a theory in teaching that you want the student to say it, to read it, and to write it. And if a student does those 3 things, they're more likely to retain it. So if you go back to your school days, and some of you might still be in school, that's what your professors and teachers are trying to get you to do. So when I say left arm, right arm, right arm, I'm getting you to repeat it. And I'm getting you to say it. So one more time, left arm, right arm, right arm.
Left arm, right arm, right arm.
And those correspond with the 4 commands. So they're already in the middle. Now we're getting serious because they're about to start. So Gabby's going to do it with me. Chariot, right? And she's got a nice tight knife hand, and her palm is facing that way, right? It's not a box yet, but her palm is facing that way, right? Chariot. Now, they're probably already in there. Sometimes they're going like this, but they're almost always in chariot right away, okay? Kunye, bow, right? And you're going in front of your body. And if you're here, you can practice. Kunye, right? Now, if they're little kids and they have no idea, you say bow. But they don't have to bow. If they don't want to bow, they don't have to. It's not a rule. They're not going to get disqualified. Chariot, kunye, right? And you're stopping at your pressure point, at your, what's it called again?
Plexus.
Solar plexus. What's the Korean word? Young chi, right? Stopping at your young chi, right? You probably, this is at your young chi, right? And then your arm goes down. Now, we all know that some people bow quickly and some people bow in slow motion, right? They're already in Jumbi. I'm sorry, chariot. I'm sorry, kunye, right? So some people bow in slow motion, some are fast, some don't do anything. Please be patient. Let them come up fully. So Miguel is very slow at bowing. Chariot, kunye. I have to wait. Okay, and my arm is already down. And now Junbi, from your hip or your leg, straight to the middle. And I think this is straight out. This is not pressure point. Now, some people, their Junbi is also in slow motion. So one more time, Junbi. Miguel's in slow motion. Master Josh is fast. You have to wait. You have to watch them and wait till they're both finished. Now, if they don't do Junbi, it's okay. They don't have to. And then when they're both done, Shijak to the sky. It's not your ear. It's straight up. Right? Shijak. Now, in theory, they'll both start. But Miguel is also slow on starting. So Master Josh has started, and Miguel hasn't done anything. And now he starts. Totally fine. Do a pumse, Miguel. Right? And, okay, you guys can stop. So when they're done, we say, poro. Puddle, poro, whatever that word is. Poro. I hear puddle quite often. Puddle. Poro. Different ways to say it, right? Say the word that you know in school. Poro. Right? When they're done. If they're struggling and they're like, don't say it. But if they look like they're done, say it. Okay? So the idea was they're both done, right? Now, if Miguel never started, go ahead, start. Say it in English. Go ahead, start. Now, hopefully he starts, right? Now, maybe he has no idea what Pumse is doing. He's totally scared to death. Let him stand there. You don't walk over and say, are you okay? Let him stand there. People don't have to do it. You know, in ranking points, you get points for just coming on the mat. You get points if you get a certain medal and all these other things. Just coming out here, he gets points for that. In this case, if there was only two of them, he gets a silver medal. If he says, I don't even want to come on the mat, he's not going to get anything. If he doesn't want to do his pumse, fine. If he wants to do a totally different pumse than what he's supposed to, it's totally fine. Okay? Now, so we've said poro. Now they finish, however they finish. They can do that. They can just stop. Doesn't matter. And then, so that so we're at the end. And there's more than one way to do this, but basically, we're going to say judges score. So when they're almost done, the three judges should already know who the winner is. And you should be bringing your hands up here. So when you hear judges, not us, the judges will have their hands here. And then, so we're going to say, Gabby, you and me, judges, score. And we're going to go fast. Yeah? It's up here. Do it again, Gabby. Right? And we're going to leave it up there for a second. It's the same hand motion that they're doing. It's here, right? So, Gabby, one more time. Judges, score. So, Gabby and I are holding our hands here. They're holding their hands here. Palms facing their body. We've got one hand, they've got two hands. So when you hear judges, three of you better have your hands up. And then we say score. Now, if there's a problem, and you don't know what you're supposed to happen, the kid fell down, this kid starts crying, and you're one of these three judges, say referee. That's okay. We're kind of like referee. So Isaac has a problem. So we're about to say judges. Okay, do you think I can hear you? Referee. Okay, now if we're here, okay, hold on, guys. Let's come over. Let's find out. Come on. Now he's going to say something like, did he even do the right pumse? Or he's going to say, but he kicked him in the head accidentally. Should I penalize him? This happens on occasion. So if you say it, if there's an issue and you're a judge, say something. Do not just, okay, I don't know, I'll just pick one. Okay, let's go back. But that's going to be very rare that happens. So they've raised their hands. So we're going to do it one more time, Gabby. Judges, score. Now, they only look straight. They do not look at each other. They should not be influenced by how anyone else is voting. They should not be influenced by the coach, the other coach, the players, the parents, anything. Do not look at what the other person is doing. Now, you're going to leave your hands up for, 3 seconds, and then put them down. Whoever's behind the table, keeping track, is going to see who got 2 votes and who got 2 out of 3, and they're going to circle it. And then to tell them to leave, well, we can do it, Chariot Kunye. Do it with me, Gabby. So, show respect to the judges. And then Toijong. That's the way I say it. sure there's another way. Choijong, but I say Choijong, okay? I don't know, it's just my best Korean. So we say Choijong. Half the time they stand there because they don't know. Okay, go ahead, leave the mat. Say something. Yeah, go ahead and leave the mat, right? It's okay, and and that's it. That's the first. If there's more in the bracket, we continue. But this is the main idea. So left arm, right arm, right arm.
Left arm, right arm, right arm.
Chiriat kunye junbi shijak. Memorize those. The four go with the here. Chiriat kunye, pause. Junbi, pause. Shijak, right? Do not rush them. Chiriat kunye junbi, no, because they're still doing this. Okay, and I know all of you have done this before. Now, this is something that I hear wrong all the time. And I want to remind everyone, there is official referee commands and techniques, and there's unofficial. And the unofficial is what you do in your dojang. What you do in your dojang is up to your grandmaster or master. I have no opinion on what you do. But in a tournament, we say, shijak. It's fast. There's no pause. There's no dramatic buildup. Shijak. I don't know if that's one or two words, if it's two words that are hyphenated. It's got to be fast, because here's what's happening. And they're like, and I know some people in this room, shijak. No, please do not do that. And half of you in this room do that, I know. So, Mark, we're going to go around the room. Go. No, just shijak.
Shijak.
Master Lim? I need you to say it, please. That's the way to do it. We don't say shijak in sparring, we say it in pumse. No, we do say shijak. Sorry. Yeah, once at the beginning of the round. That's right. But queso to resume. We say queso. Okay. But in pumse, we say shijak every time, every match. The first, it's one of those commands. Please do it that way. What you do in your school is different. In second round, if it's second round of a match of sparring, Chunghung, Junbi, shijak. You don't say round 2 or round 3. You don't say Chunghung, Chiriat. I'm sorry, I'm getting confused, but you don't say the English. Don't say the English. Don't say, so Chunghung, Chiriat kunye, bow. Don't. You do that here, Chiriat kunye. You say kunye, it's a Korean term. Okay? When you say stand up, when they fall, you say stand up. Don't come over and say, stop falling down. Now, I have done that before. Don't get me wrong. It's a kid that falls down. Okay, stay on your feet, okay? You're about to be disqualified. Okay? But do not use the English when giving commands when possible. I said earlier in sparring, get it right. Blue, 2 points. Blue, iljong. Blue, ijong. Chung, 2 points. That's giving points. That's really important that the computer operator and the audience knows what color it is and how many points it is. The parents don't know the Korean terms. Okay? But Chiriat kunye. Chiriat kunye bow. Junbi shijak start. No. 4 commands. Everyone with me? Left arm. Chiriat kunye. Drop your left arm. Junbi shijak. Don't bend, straight to the sky, right? So remember, the junbi is from your hip up, kind of like sparring, right? Sparring, we can come from the top, but it's to get in the middle. It's similar, right? Junbi, and then shijak. You're finishing that arc. Okay, those are the 4 commands. Hopefully you can all memorize them by next Saturday. We say shijak fast, and we score fast. So let's rotate. You guys get up. 3 more, please, right away.
Yes, sir.
When you give the hand signal for the score, it's fast. Gabby, take a seat. Well, William knows all this stuff, but you can stay. Okay, Thomas, you get to demonstrate. On this side, please. Okay, so as they're doing their pumse, you're evaluating, right? You're obviously not making a final decision until it's done, right? I've seen plenty of people doing an awesome pumse. They're going to win, and they mess up the last thing, and they're not going to win because of that. You have to watch, right? You have to watch to the end. Again, you may know exactly who's going to win. You're thinking, I'd rather watch that sparring match over there. Don't do it. Watch them. Okay? Let's move a little closer, Thomas. Okay, so when you hear judges, so Thomas, real loud, judges.
Judges.
So when you put your palm facing you. When you hear judges, you better have your hands up. And when you hear score, go ahead.
Score.
You get your hand up fast. If you don't get your hand up fast, it looks like you're waiting for the others to decide for you, or that you don't really know what's going on. And if you really don't know what's going on, probably you should ask the referee, sir, I totally blanked out. I got a real bad headache. I'm not sure what to do here. Don't just put up a hand. Now, if it's a close call, the athletes are very close, you got to choose. And maybe it comes down to their uniform. So Mark is here, and right next to me. Patrick is there. And it was exact, perfect, identical pumse. Just, oh, not you. Master Stephen, switch with Patrick. Exact, equal. Is there a factor you could see that would cause you to, or help you to decide the winner, looking at these two? Does anyone yell it out? It doesn't have to be these three. Just yell it out.
His belt.
His belt is uneven, not even close. Obvious, right? Obvious. Okay? This is reason to vote for him if it's identical. Okay? He's got dark patches on his knees because he never washes his dobok. His is pristine. That's a reason to vote for Mark. Chelsea, any other distinction you can see that would help you to decide? I can't hear you. Speak up, please. No idea. So he says, go ahead, judges score. Get ready. I'm going to take this place. Go ahead.
Judges, score.
What was the difference? Because I can't stand still. I wanted someone to kind of say, I'm going like this, right? I did an awesome pumse. I equaled his pumse. My belt, I think, is equal. My uniform is clean. His is clean. My nails are clipped. His nails are clipped. He's got a serious face on, and I'm like this. I really can't stand still. Could that be a reason to vote for him? Maybe when we came on the mat. Back up, please. He's got it down. He bowed, chariot bow. Could that be a distinction? Could that be a distinction of winner and loser? It could be, right?
Sir,
Yep.
I remember the old days, they used the term Taekwondoistic attitude.
Yeah, we have this whole list of perseverance and the tenets, right? I should be able to run them off, but I'm having a little difficulty memory.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The Taekwondoistic attitude just meant,
Yeah. Yeah, you come in. And maybe that's entirely equal as well. And then maybe you're back to the belt level being different. Now, little kids having dirty knees or dirty dobok, it's kind of hard to fault them because probably their parents are doing the laundry. But adults, you can fault just about anything. Okay? So there are times when this happens. So you got to watch. You got to watch the whole time. Sometimes, you're in between matches and the kids are on the sideline and they're touching each other. And they come up and they do a perfect pumse. And the other kid wasn't touching everyone. It wasn't doing that. That could be the difference. Okay? Now, the judging doesn't start until Shijok. So how could this make a difference? It's not in the rule book, but you got to be able to make a distinction. Their pumses were just perfect. They were just identical. You have to have some reason to choose one or the other. And it's not, I chose blue last time, they're equal. There should be some other distinction. Key up louder. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So we're going to do a few more. So Thomas, have a seat. I need two more people who haven't been on the chairs. Chelsea, take one. And Miguel. Okay, I need someone else here who hasn't done this. Please. Someone else next to me who hasn't done this before. Everyone else has done this before? Have you done this, Isaac? Okay, so you should have come over right away. Ian, have you done this before? Stephen, please. Master Stephen. Okay, you're both going to do it, and I'm going to help. Okay? Our athletes. Let's rotate the athletes, please. Mark, you've already been an athlete. Someone else, Miguel? Okay, we got two new athletes. Okay. One of you, quickly, take the chair. Oh, okay. So, you've already made sure you got the right kids, and these are now adults. They know where to stand. Okay, let's, the three of us come right next to each other. Okay? Children. Give the commands, please. I can do it first. But you, okay? Now, stay there. Good. He stood where he wanted. He's an adult. He should stand where he wants. But kids frequently do things like this. Do not let them start that close. If he ends up doing a side kick into his head, it's a problem. Kids, tell them where to stand. So from here, and it's a little confusing. Come over here a little bit more. And then half the times the other guy moves. You've got him exactly where you want him, and he moves. Sir, can you go back?
Yes, sir.
Now, sir, take one step forward. If he takes two, it's okay. But as they get taller, they end up running into the judges. Sir, I said one. Please, you don't say that. Sir, go back one. Harder with kids. Adults should know where to stand. But still with safety. Safety number one. Adults that are too close, you have to tell them. Either go to your left or go to your right, or take one step back and one step forward. Remember, there is a penalty for going off the mat, but not in a local tournament. I'd much rather have them start way back here and go back too far than start too close and walk into the judges. It's really hard, especially choreo, trying to do a front snap kick when you've got a judge right here. So it's err on the side of caution and have them back more.
Is it okay if they're kids for us to kind of step
Yes.
in and kind of?
Yes. That's kind of like what I was doing.
Yeah.
They're totally clueless, Isaac. They're totally clueless. Sir, come right here. No, stop moving, okay? And then come back and reevaluate. If they're not in the right spot, tell them. But generally, you don't want them on the same line. Adults know this, kids don't. Okay, so now they're in position. He's fiddling with his belt. Don't know why. Okay, we got our 4 commands. Everyone ready?
Sure.
Chariot.
Yeah.
Kunye.
Oh yeah.
And he doesn't bow. It's okay. Junbi. Go ahead and do it, Patrick. Okay. He's in slow motion. It's fine. Shijak. Now they both start. They're doing whatever Pum said they want, or whatever the Pum says they're supposed to do. And now they're done, so they both stop. No, yeah, see, stop, right? They're done with their Pum say, whatever it is. Now some kids just come back and do that. If they do that, that's fine. If they don't want to wait for the commands, they want to preempt it, it's fine. You might affect how you judge them, but it's fine. Okay? Now the 3 of us say, Poro!
Hello.
Right? Hopefully they go back to some kind of a Junbi stance. And then I would jump right now to the judge. So judges? No, just when it's us, it's just one hand. Score.
Score.
Okay? Now we're looking over. We're helping to determine if it, who won. Because sometimes the person keeping track is not paying attention. Okay? Now they can obviously see who won. Okay? Now, after a few seconds, we put our arms down and we say, Choijang. So the first thing we did is told them to come in. The last thing we do is tell them to leave. And one of them doesn't want to leave, we say, go back.
Go back.
Go back. Or leave the mat. Okay? Go ahead.
After they say Kuman like this, I've heard show
There's all different ways to do it, sir.
at the end like that. So then you do that thing.
Yeah, show is relax or something.
Relax. At ease, right.
And then sometimes we say chariot kune, bow. Sometimes we have them bow at the end. There's probably 10 different ways to do it. I want to teach the easiest way. And if you know a different way that introduces some other things, go ahead. Okay. Okay. So now the variation is Mark and Gabby, please, our athletes. Okay. I need two more. Two more people, please. Quickly, come with me. I don't care. Two people are not athletes. Okay, come here. Okay. So now, with me, please. Shiljang. Right, so you're pointing to the middle, right? You started at the edge, you continue to the middle. Now, is she in a good spot? Yes. I think she's too far forward, right? Go back a little bit. Good. Are they too close together? No, right? Okay. Now, it's good that let's do our 4 commands. Chariot, kunye. Drop your left hand right away. Okay. Junbi. Mark, don't start, okay? Just do the junbi, but don't start. Shijak. Just do a pumse. Look confused, like you're not sure. And then start something, but do it wrong. Now stop. So she finishes, Gabby finishes, but he's totally confused. Okay? So let's modify that. She's still going, but he's totally confused. This happens, right, with kids. She's still doing her pumse. Would you like to start over with me? Would you like to start over?
Start over?
Yeah, let him. And then just let him go on his own. Don't do the commands again. Let him start over. But whatever, we're focusing on him right now. But the idea is, it's in the beginning and he realizes he's totally lost. He can start over. They get one chance to restart. Okay? Generally, you're going to ask that before she's done. It's going to ask it right at the beginning. So whether she's done or not, would you like to start over? And then we just say, just go. All right, it's up to them to go. Now, if she's all done and she's in her finished stance, she has to wait. And now he finishes his pumse. Okay. Now, poro. Okay, now, how do you judge a restart? Okay, you can put your arms down. Anyone know the rules about when there's a restart? If you do, just yell them out. Okay, so the proper way to judge pumse is to give points, but we're obviously not giving points. We're just picking a winner. But the idea is, if they have to restart, is their points go down. So in a real match, they start over, but they're down 0.6. So you generally start at 10 and you go down. You can't go to 0, but you can go down to like 1.5. So now they're starting at 9.4. Now here's the reality. If they restart, in my mind, the only way they can win is if they're really, really, really good and the other person's really bad. Because if they're equal, there's no way, there's no way Mark can win because he's down in points. So if he's really good and she's just average or maybe bad, he can still win. But it has to be a clear-cut difference for someone who's restarted to be able to win. Okay, you still give them that chance. Don't think to yourself, oh, he restarted, no chance. She may not even finish her pumse. She's 3/4 of the way done, and she's as confused as he was. But his pumse was really good, and she doesn't want to restart. I would give it to him. Even though he lost points for restarting, he still ended up doing better than she did. Everyone understand? So this happens more often with kids, or even adults. They do the first couple moves, and they're confused, right? If you think they want to restart, sir, man, would you like to restart? Don't yell it out because you don't want to disrupt this person. If they say yes, just say go, and then just let them do it on their own. Any questions about restarting? Yes, sir. Okay, thanks for coming. Any questions about restarting? Okay, I want to wrap up the pumse part. Any final questions about pumse? Anything at all you want to know? Nothing? Okay, let's Taekwondo students. Let's, yes, but while we're doing that, let's Mark, our students. Let's start picking up the mats and the chairs. Go ahead, Miguel.
They can go either high or low, right? Like a yellow belt can do basic form or something like that.
Yeah.
As long as they're in the range, right?
So which pumse should they do is your question?
Yeah, say like you're gonna do Taekwondo 2, you could do either one, number 1 or number 2, if you get like, you know what I mean? Like a black belt can't do the Taekwondo.
Yeah.
You know?
I'll answer you in a second when they come back. Yeah.
What about for exhibition matches? How do you score?
Exhibition. So exhibition match in pumse, you still pick the winner. They have to know who won. And, you know, exhibition matches could be completely uneven. And if they're completely uneven, but that purple belt did it, the best Taeguk form, Taeguk whatever, 3 or 4, and the black belt did a very moderate kumgang, maybe the purple belt wins, okay? That comes back to attitude. That comes back to how hard they tried. I wouldn't, you know, exhibition matches are hard because it's a mismatch. And generally the higher belt is gonna win, but it's not always the case. I had a tournament the past couple months. The blue athlete was doing really, really, really well. And the red athlete was really not good at all. And blue athlete couldn't finish. Red athlete won. We all voted for her, okay? So different mismatch exhibition, you just got to kind of use your judgment. Just pick the winner, okay? Now, the other question was, what pumse are they gonna do? Okay, some tournaments have designated pumse. They have to do a certain pumse. If you're black belt, you're doing the belt that you're on. So choreo, kumgang, etc. You should not, if you see someone come out, if you see Mr. Thomas come out, he's got 3 bars, and he says, I'm doing choreo, that's probably a problem. And then William's got 1 bar and he's doing choreo. I've seen this happen. It happened a couple weeks ago. Oh, sir, why are you doing choreo? My coach told me to. My coach told me to. I don't know. Do you know kumgang and do you know Taebek?
Yes.
You do. So it doesn't really make sense for you to go against that. Now, he's an adult, right? He's not a kid. I wouldn't talk to a kid this way. I'd go to the coach. Now, he says, you know, I've been out of the game for like 10 years. I just relearned choreo, and my master said it was okay, and the tournament coordinator said it was okay. It's probably okay. You know, it's not, I'm not talking exhibition. This, like, they want it to be a real match. Because in theory, his coach can come over and say, this is not right. And then you'll let someone else at a higher level make that decision. But it comes up. Yes.
When you're registering for the competition as a competitor, there's 2 different sections for your belt and your form. So I think that's why.
Yeah, but things happen. People register and then they get another belt level. They should wear the belt that they registered under. But in that situation, I've talked them out of it at times. I say, sir, you know you at least know kumgang. There's other males over here doing kumgang. Why don't you go with them? And a lot of times they'll be like, oh yeah, that's probably right. Okay. Again, adults, not talking to kids. Kids, we go to their coaches. Okay. Kids just do what they're told, which is what they're supposed to do. Okay.
Will you discuss the announcement of the places, like first place, second place?
How do you do it? Well, you line them up and it's like a half circle. Third place, pause for a second for pictures. So it's from third place, step over. Second place, pause, step over. First place, pause for pictures, right? I see people do this. How can anyone take a picture? And if you go left to right or right to left, I don't really care. That answer the question?
And then the bowing, they have them face the audience and you have them bow to the audience.
There's all different ways of doing it. To be honest, I don't care too much. Just have them bow once. Have them bow to somebody. Okay. I mean, it's the end of it's the end of the match. We want to get the next one going. It's different ways. But to answer the question about designated pumse, there's some tournaments have it. I don't believe we're having it. So basically, in the back, they figure that out. So if they come out, it really doesn't matter what pumse they're doing for color belts, because it's already been determined in the back. Okay. And what I do though, I do ask. Okay, what form are you doing, sir? Color belt form.
Taeguk 7.
Taeguk 7. What form are you doing, ma'am? Okay, so hopefully she would say it nice and loud so I can hear her, right? Taeguk 8 or T8, a lot of people say. So 7 and 8 are pretty close, right? I would say, okay, you're doing different pumses. Don't look at each other. Because a lot of kids do that, right? One kid starts doing a different pumse and they look over like, oh my gosh, and panic sets in and they've already lost. So especially for kids, I ask. Now for black belts, you have to ask. You have to know what pumse they're doing. Now you may make an assumption that Thomas is doing Taebek because he's got 3 bars. Okay. You ask, sir, what pumse are you doing? Taebek, okay. And hopefully the other player is too. At black belt level, they should be the same, unless it's exhibition or this other scenario I gave. Can we move a little closer over here, everyone? You have to know what pumse they're doing because there are a lot of referees that are only first on, and they may not even know choreo. They just got their first on. And there's a lot of athletes that are going to be doing second dan and up. I don't care if there's only one athlete. Every judge sitting there has to know that pumse. It doesn't matter. We know they're going to win. It's disrespectful to the athlete to have judges that don't even know the pumse. You know, they're out there doing their best. They're disappointed there's no opponent. They wanted to beat someone. They wanted to show their master, their family, their skills. Let's not add disrespect to that by not knowing the pumse. And there are pumses I don't know. There's three that I don't know. But if you're the ring captain, first thing you do in the morning is you find out everyone in their ring. What's the highest belt or highest pumse you know? And Miguel says?
Taebek.
Taebek. And Miguel says, what's the highest belt? But you're not, he's not really sure. And he says, he acts like that. I kind of know Taebek. I don't know. That means he doesn't know it. If he's like, I kind of learned it. No, he doesn't know it. That means he knows Kumgong. That's the highest he can judge. If William says, well, I just got my black belt. I'm so excited. No, I haven't learned choreo yet. He cannot judge it, period. So I just got it halfway done. I'm doing pretty good. No. Okay? So you have to know, if you're the ring captain, you have to know what the level is of all your judges. If you get a new judge comes in, you better ask. It's happened many times. You know, you're rolling nice, good clip, and 2 black belts come out, and they start, and they're doing, you know, a high-level form. I'm looking, going, oh my gosh, they don't know it. It's horrible. You have to ask. And if you can't remember, William, tell me again, what's your highest level? Just choreo? Okay, so we're gonna have to switch you out because they're doing the higher level. Okay, and you have to go to another ring. You know, hopefully they have a break or something. Sir, can I borrow someone who knows Kumgong or Taebek? Okay, and there's been times when, you know, everyone's so busy. I'll get some visiting master, you know, master so and so or grandmaster so and so that know all the pumse. Sir, would you mind? They're doing, you know, Taebek. Would you mind helping me judge? My referees don't know, and they'll do it. You know. Now, hopefully you're asking someone you know. Hopefully you're not asking a stranger. But you guys kind of all know some different masters that may not be actual referees for that day, but you don't want them to wait 30 minutes and when master so-and-so is sitting there and can help you. Okay? Okay. The point, going back to the color belts and the taeguk forms, essentially whatever they do is fine. It doesn't matter what belt color they're wearing. If they're doing a taeguk form, just judge them. Okay. Okay. Any last questions about pumse? Okay. There was a question Master Stephen asked me that was on here that I need to answer.
Let's see.
I said, don't let me forget, then I forgot.
Well, I think you answered it.
No, there was one after.
The break. There's a new one, but.
Oh, Keishi. Okay. Yeah. So going back to sparring, right? We call the medic. Medic, everyone. Medic, right? Sharp from here to the side of your face, right? I do it on the side. I don't come to my face. Okay? They come on the mat. We say? So from palm facing you to palm facing out. Okay? They have the 1 minute start. Now, in 5 seconds, the medic says they're fine, no problem. Then you stop this keishi and you resume the match. Okay, do not extend keishi unnecessarily. Now, there are times when there's no blood, there's no bones, there's nothing, none of that. But it was a hard groin kick, right? And the medic's like, they can continue. And typically a boy, they're like, you know, sir, it still kind of hurts. I'll look at the clock. Okay. But when it gets to the minute, you got to start it. Hopefully you can judge if they're misleading you. trying to buy time. But if the keishi is over and the medical situation is over, you stop the keishi and resume the match. Okay, hopefully that answered the question. There was an answer here. I'm not a master, but whenever I send a reserve fee, I give them about around 5 seconds. I'm not sure what that is. Okay. But do they both get gold for exhibition? So the answer is yes. If it's an exhibition match, they both get gold. But you still have to declare the winner. Whether it's poomsae or sparring, you need to know who the winner is. But then when you stand behind them, okay, so Ian and Isaac had an exhibition match. Ian won the match, clearly. He got the votes or the points. Isaac didn't. Put him in this order. He was second in the match, but he's going to get gold. First place. First place. Okay? Hopefully that answers the question online.
I do have one question, sir. For poomsae, or no, sorry, poomsae, for sparring, can we ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Whenever you stop because someone fell down or whatever, do we restart them in the same position or do we center them?
Okay, so that's one of the new rules. So the idea is we have a ring, right? Let's say this is our out of bounds. Chelsea and Gabby, come here. And Chelsea has her back to the edge, but she's not out of bounds. She's inside. And she commits a penalty, kicks low. Kalyo. Chung, Gamjang. And by now, she's over there. Move over there. Because she wants to get out of the corner. Come back here. You cannot let her get that advantage to get it. Okay? Now, out of bounds is different. Let's come a little bit out. Okay. This time, Chelsea goes out of bounds. Kalyo. Okay? You tell the opponent, get behind me. Now, you want room. You don't want them right behind you. And you go like this, and you say, come here. Or you go like this. Their back foot, so get in a fighting stance. Their back foot should be 1 meter in. So we don't have the squares. I'm going to say, come here. Her back foot. So when you have the puzzle mat, her back foot should not be on the last mat. I think she's not far enough in. Back up. A little bit more. Stay there. I do that. I say, stay there. Okay? I'm just guessing. Hopefully she's not behind me and I'm bumping into her and stepping on her foot. But we also don't want her standing on this side over here. Okay? So now I give her the penalty. Hung, gamjang, out of bounds. And now I restart because she is 1 meter in. I've seen referees restart it with their foot on the edge, and it's just one after another. Put them 1 meter in. If she wants to stand flat-footed, 1 meter in, fine. But the back foot should be 1 meter in, okay? So there are times, remember, when there's a challenge, you put them back in the middle. So back up a little bit, guys. So I'm the center referee. They're fighting. Her coach stands up with his challenge card out. Kalyo, okay? Chung, hung. So I'm commanding you to come here. So you got to come here. When there's a challenge, you put them, it's called this is the referee mark. Where I stand is the mark. I put them in their starting position, blue and red. I have to do this if I'm getting a challenge. I come over here and he says, whatever. It doesn't matter what he says. Okay? We finish the challenge. Whatever the result is over. Then we come back. Blue or red come here. I put her back to where she was because she's on the boundary. I don't do it if she's in the middle of the mat because there was no advantage gained by him coaching. And he's like, oh, she's got her 4th penalty. I better make some fictitious challenge to get her away from the edge. I put them back because this is an advantageous position for the other fighter. I put them back here, and then I say, okay, so, right? But in the other scenario, where we're just in the middle of the ring, they're fighting, middle of the ring, fighting, challenge, Chung Hung, there's no reason to put them back because there was no advantage for anyone. So it's essentially only on the edge. Okay? I think there's like another scenario where you put them back, but if it was not an advantageous position, don't put them back. And to me, this is one of the hardest things to remember. She was on the border, he's challenging, we got some voting, we got some over here, some question, and she gets a penalty, and I've totally forgotten where they were. Or I think she's in there. If you're a corner judge, help. Referee, I'll come over. Don't forget, red was on the borderline. and I accidentally put blue on the borderline. Sir, it was red. Now, we don't want to announce our errors, so come over. Oh, she was on the border, right. Does that answer the question, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I want to keep going with questions anymore, and we'll... Okay, so everyone that's online viewing this, this is one of the documents I sent through email. So you may want to just open this up on your own device. Feel free, everyone. We're just going to mainly talk the rest of the time. You can sit, stand. I don't really care. This is not, the most ideal scenario for viewing, but it's a little better than nothing. So sit as close as you want. Sit on the edge. We're going to go through some of this. I don't know how to make it any larger. I apologize. But this is the USA Taekwondo referee instruction. It's not the rules, but it's kind of like their manual for teaching. And as far as I know, this is public. I am allowed to use it, so I'm going to use it. And but all of you should have this. And there are 3 sections I really want to cover. One of them we kind of covered about counting and does the player want to continue. So there's a difference between wanting to continue or not wanting to, and cannot. Those are 2 different things. It depends on, I never answered the question. Master Josh, I never answered your question. You guys want to hold it down back there, please? Master Josh, you going to come up for a minute? So I never answered the question. Well, what happens in sparring? So the scenario was, the kid was cleared to continue, and she comes back and says, I don't want to fight. So to me, sure. Someone else want to grab that? Mark? To me, that's a withdrawal, okay? It's not a medical reason to stop. So if you withdraw, go outside please and handle that. If you withdraw, you lose, you quit. You lost the match. But the more appropriate question is, what happens if the medic says she can't continue? Okay, what happens? So if you can't continue, it depends on what happened. Did the other player commit a penalty? That's the real question. So in that scenario, Master Josh, did the other girl commit a penalty? So too hard. So it was a light contact head division, and the kick was too hard to the head. And the medic said she cannot continue. Now the kicker, you don't give the penalty until you figure it all out, because you don't want the girl that got kicked to know she's about to win. So you give a penalty for misconduct for kicking too hard, and then they're disqualified, because that's what caused the match to stop. Okay, that's why you don't give the gamjan until you figure out what the medic says. Because if you've already given the gamjan, the girl that got kicked too hard is like, wow, I can just say I can't continue. I can exaggerate. I get a gold medal or I get a win. So you hold off. You know in your head you're giving a penalty. So that way the kid that got kicked too hard is like, I don't know. I better just say I better continue. So then they come back, and then the other person gets a penalty, and then you continue. Kicking too hard. So for a no contact division or a light contact division, kicking too hard is misconduct. Remember, punching is this, kicking too hard is this. Okay, so that's the main idea. If someone commits a penalty and the other fighter cannot continue, the person who committed the penalty is disqualified.
So how do you know what division? Is it clearly stated when they come into the ring which division they're in?
It's usually not clearly stated, and you have to know every match if it's full contact, light contact, or no contact. Okay? There is a chart. It's actually in this document. You can all look at it. It's a head kick chart. We're going to have it available at the tournament, either on paper or electronically. And it tells you age and belt, no contact, light contact, or full contact. You have to know. And remember, the light contact, back spinning kick to the head is fine, but it's only 3 points. It doesn't become 6. Remember, turning points double the score. So turning body, 2 becomes 4, and turning head, 3 becomes 6. So they can do it, but they don't get the extra 3 points. And the reality is, if someone's doing a back spinning kick, it's very difficult to make it light. It's not the nature of the kick. A roundhouse kick you can do lightly, you can pull. But a back spinning kick is usually a hard, destructive kick. So we don't really want to encourage it. But if you can control it and they can land it, they get their 3. Now, if they fall, they're going to get the penalty because it's not a valid turning kick. It is a turning kick that landed, but only 3 points score because it's modified head contact. Everyone understand that? It's a common problem. And it's a common problem when the coaches don't know what division their kids are in, especially when they're borderline full contact. The coach will say, I need extra 3 points for the head kick. Okay, what's the answer as a center referee? They're asking for extra 3 points on a modified head contact rule. It's not a secret, I just gave you the answer. The answer is they don't get the points, and their challenge is rejected, and you keep their card. I've seen plenty of coaches do this because they don't know, they're bouncing from ring to ring. They don't even know what division their kid is in. One of our jobs as center referee is to tell the athletes before the match. Every time it's no contact or light contact. And just as simple as this. And I look at the coach. Sir, this is a light contact division. Or, sir, this is a no head contact division. And hopefully the athlete is listening. Okay? Now, if there's no coach, you tell the athlete. And if they keep kicking to the head in a no contact or hard in a light contact, warn them. You've already given them penalties. Stop kicking hard to the head. So you've given them penalties, and now you've given them warnings because we don't want the other kid getting hurt. And if they repeatedly do it, you can stop a match. Again, going back to safety. Okay, you've got to be very careful, though. It's better to give them 5 penalties and let them lose the round. Okay, there's actually one more thing I forgot to explain. So the rules, the penalties have not changed. The rules themselves have not changed. But the interpretation of the rules has changed. And the interpretation now is, the mantra is let them fight. And the idea is there's 4 penalties that always must be called. Out of bounds or crossing the boundary, falling, kicking after Kallio, and kicking the fallen opponent. Those are not subjective in any way. You either did it or you didn't. You have to call that penalty. But every other penalty is now only called if an advantage is gained. So Master Josh and I are sparring, and we're doing this. Grab my wrist. Move around, pull me. We are clearly grabbing, but no one is getting an advantage. Now, if I do this, I shove him back and I kick him, I just got an advantage because I was holding his arm. But if we're both just doing the same thing to each other, it's not a penalty. It might be clinching if we're talking about grabbing, but also this light is not a penalty. And then he kicks me back light. But then the third one, bam, hard. I got an advantage out of that. He might be injured. He might go down. I can then kick him in the face. I get a penalty. But you see how many times you see little kids? Go with me. They're just kicking their legs left and right. You've seen it over and over. If no one is getting injured, there's no advantage gained, it's not a penalty. All the penalties are this way now, except for those 4. Every other penalty is now subjective. If hand makes contact with the face, it's not mandatory. So it is possible now, Master Josh and I are sparring, slight touch. I didn't get an advantage out of that. Maybe it just touches headgear. Maybe I punch. It goes up just a little bit into it. Just a little. It's obvious there was no pain. Obvious. There's no penalty for that. Now, repeatedly, maybe. Or I would warn them, keep your hands down. Stop touching his face. Because the 3rd or 4th one might be hard. Okay? I kick, and he kicks same time. We kick the hips. Don't hit any chest gear. No one's hurt. No penalty. Well, any other example of something that does not gain an advantage?
I mean, it's just clinching though. Usually when they get really close.
Clinching, yeah.
Oh, that's like a fish kick too.
The fish kick that I'm grabbing, but it doesn't land, and it also doesn't hurt.
Let's do this for some reason. So it goes like this. And just doing this for some reason.
Yeah.
Clinches.
Now, if it's not hurting him, There's no advantage. Now, if he, grab me, I'm trying to get away. I really want to fight, and he's not letting me go. My hands are out. He's got an advantage because he's not letting me get back and fight. But if we're both doing each other, it's not a penalty. Now, pulling hair gives you an advantage because you injured them. That's a penalty, right? You have to look to see if anyone's getting an advantage. If you're constantly calling penalties, you're probably calling too many. I should have led with this. I apologize. It's almost 5 o'clock. This is probably the most important change. If there's no advantage gained, you don't call a penalty, except for those four. Those four you have to call. Okay? Misconduct is not on the list you have to call. No, it's not on the list. So how does the coach yelling at the other coach give them she's my athlete. How does me yelling at his coach give her an advantage? Anyone answer that? Speak up, nice and loud. Unsport, but how does that help her win?
Psychologically, or?
She's my athlete. He's the sir. Stop. Get your kid under control. How does that help my athlete win? Oh, so am I influencing the judges by doing that? Am I influencing the center referee? Maybe, right? But maybe I'm right. Maybe his kid is out of control, kicking groin, kicking knees over and over. So we talked about what misconduct is, and I said earlier I would give a penalty. But we have this new overriding rule that there's no advantage gained, there's no penalty. So maybe we're not too far, we're coaches here. It's in between rounds. Ah, Josh, your athlete really sucks. Josh, give me a break. I'm just helping my athlete. Josh, give me a break. Get out of here. Is that misconduct? I'm saying it kind of laughing a little bit. Is that misconduct, anyone? Probably not. And probably if he's laughing, if they're funny, right? But he turns around and curses me out. I don't know. That's a problem. Maybe we both get misconduct. So there is this idea that you don't call it unless there's an advantage. So the coach jumping up, come on, where are the penalties? Maybe it's influencing the outcome of the match inappropriately. Okay. The new mantra is let them fight. Avoid giving penalties. If someone's getting if you're giving 5 penalties per round consistently, it's probably you. Now, a lot of kids step out. A lot of kids fall. They fall 5 times or step out, they get 5 penalties. So that's a rule. Coaches are supposed to stay in their seat, and they're not supposed to move around. It's the same thing, stay in their seat. Now, if you're blocking them, yeah, they go like that, it's okay. If they get up 10 seconds before the round is over, it's okay. But when they're constantly jumping up, come on. I'm sorry if I'm behind the camera here. If you're doing all this, it's a penalty. Sorry, it's a penalty for misconduct. But was an advantage gained? If my kid is losing by 9 points with 4 seconds to go, is there a reason to give me a penalty? Now, if my kid is winning with 5 seconds to go, and my kid has 4 penalties, and all I did was jump up, all right, I clearly violated the rule. Would you give me a penalty for that? Because? It doesn't really, right? I mean, I may demoralize the kid that's losing just a little bit, but with 3 seconds to go, and I'm not yelling out political statements, I'm not using foul language, I'm not talking about the other coach. I'm just excited my athlete's about to win. I don't think I would give a penalty. If you're about to give a 5th penalty, especially in the 3rd round, I think twice about it. Right? This couple tournaments ago, one coach, they get one coach? Always. The second coach stands in the back giving instructions. I hate it as a referee. I hate it. Because when I was an athlete, I didn't have 2 coaches. I frequently didn't have any coach. So why should I allow Josh, as an athlete, to have 2 coaches helping him? I shouldn't allow it. So I come over and I say, one coach, one of you has to leave. Now he's the one that started, he's in the chair. The other one leaves. I start the match and he's over there doing it again. He's maybe even already come back. He's got 2 coaches. But again, he's winning. It's a 12-point gap, right? He's got 11-0. A few seconds to go, no penalties. It's not the worst thing in the world to have 2 coaches, right? So probably not give a penalty. But it's been going on the whole match. 3rd round, he's leading 11-0. He's got 4 penalties. Well, if he's got 4 penalties, it's 11-4 or 15-4. He's leading by 11 points. He's 1 point away from a gap and 3 seconds away from a win. But this coach is out of control. I've given, say, 2 warnings. I might just give it, teach the coach a lesson. He's not following my commands. He'll follow them next time. So I've done that before. The second time I come over, I already told you to stop that. Your kid has 4 penalties.
Okay.
You're about to be disqualified. You're about to cause your kid to be disqualified. And I whisper it so no one else can hear. I don't necessarily put my finger up. Depends on who it is. And hopefully they stop for the final 5 seconds. Okay? So keep that all in mind when giving out penalties. Okay? All right.
So
Yes.
when you're actually saying that to the coach, obviously it's paused, right?
Yes.
You pause.
Yes. 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 Okay. So we're going to try to get through some of this stuff. Master Stephen, any?
There was one statement, just kicker DQ. I'm not sure what that means.
Disqualified, but what was the context?
That was it. 2 words.
Oh. Can you, well, whoever asked that question online, can you clarify the question, please? Okay, so this list, this is new. This started on page 205. Highly recommend, if you really want to know the finer points of what coaches can appeal. This is actually very technical. There's slides here. These are actually very well written. There are 4 penalties. Okay, for your own player, you can ask for every single penalty to be voided, to be overturned. Every single penalty. Doesn't matter what it is. Kid is up there cursing as loud as he can. He gets a misconduct call. You can challenge it to get it turned over. Okay? Any for your own player, you can ask to be overturned. For the opponent, there's only 4 penalties you can ask for to be given to the other opponent. If you can memorize these 4, and you can memorize the 4 Pumse commands, you get an A+ in my book. There are high-level referees that cannot memorize these 4. So it says for the opponent on the right side. Note it's a little small. And before I say what they are, well, you can see it. It's the same 4 we've been talking about. The same 4 objective penalties. Out of bounds, falling, kicking after call, you're kicking the fallen opponent. The 4 objective penalties that must be called are the same 4 that the opposing coach can ask for. And what I've been told is, why those 4? And the reason is everyone in the gym can see those 4. Whether they're old or young, wherever they're sitting, they can see if it went out of bounds. There's video cameras to show when it went out of bounds. There's no language barrier with their video camera. It went out of bounds. They can ask for it. It's obvious. Falling down, it's pretty obvious if you fell. Attack after call you and attacking the fallen opponent are generally pretty obvious. You can ask for those 4 against the other player, and that's it. It is very common, especially for grabbing. You need to give him a penalty for grabbing. It's a reject. They lose their card because of that. Please memorize those 4. Okay. There are a few other ones. You can read them if you want. Okay. What they cannot appeal. It's also important. It says kicks scored or not scored by PSS. So PSS is electronic chess gear. Only 2 rings will have that. But I actually want to apply that rule to every ring. Okay, for our tournament. So if a corner, so they cannot ask for a body shot, a punch, or a head kick. And they can no longer challenge head kicks at all. That's rule's been taken out. So if they say, oh, it's a clean body shot. No. Now, in that case, I would say, sir, you cannot ask for body shots. Give them back their card. Give them one time. Because there are some tournaments that allow it. Okay. There's a bunch of rules about punching. Okay, now, there are rules about what the referees can appeal. It says appeal. These are all appeals. They're not challenges. They're appeals. There are several of them. I'll let you read them if you want. But basically, if something is going wrong, like points are just popping up, that's a technical error. Coach or center referee can say, let's figure out what's going on. Okay. Or pretending injury is the big one. Right? You saw it was not a groin kick. It hit here. Kid's going like this. And you know it 100%. Stand up. They're like, huh? He's not getting a penalty. I actually have to fight. And they go like this, ready to fight. It's amazing. But if they keep going and they keep going and they keep going, and then they get out of it, the center referee can ask if they were faking. Okay, pretending injury. Now, we don't have video replay, but you call a meeting. So I'm calling the two corner judges. Was he pretending injury? And this is hard to tell, right? It's hard to tell if someone got kicked in the groin. Usually it's groin kick. But a lot of times when I'm not sure, like he's in the chair corner judge, is it a groin kick? And he'll say, like, it's obvious. Like, I knew it was obvious, but I'm just not sure. In that case, I think he's faking. He continues to fake. He's like, sir, I need the medic. Oh, it was a hard groin kick. You call the medic just to be sure. You know, if you're not, maybe you're not 100% sure. And then as a center referee, you call a meeting, ask if he's pretending injury. If they're pretending injury, they get a penalty. This is a delay of the match. Okay. Technical points. Oops. Technical points are here. Hold on, Steve. Hold on, Mark. So it happens very commonly when there's a turning body kick. Remember, when there's a turning kick, you got manual scoring. You first have to score the kick. And then you have to stand up and say, referee, and then Chung, Iljam. Red, 2 points for the turning. Okay? You have to do it that way. Have to. The center referee cannot stop to do it. Corner judge, referee. And the referee, call you, and he'll do what, Mark? Quick. Right? Now, if you're the other corner judge and you're like, no, I didn't turn. I didn't see it. Just X. Center referee will break the tie. Okay? Usually it's pretty obvious. Okay? But what happens frequently is center referee is confused. It's supposed to go to red, but I point at blue, and it's obviously wrong. Corner judge, sir, it's red, not blue. Okay, and then we fix it. We want to get it right, but we also don't want to announce really, really loud our mistakes. Yeah, go ahead.
So you said about pretending injury. What's the motion for that one?
Probably misconduct. Yeah. Okay, there are times when two requests can be made, and basically it's when, so for example, we talked earlier, I go out of bounds, and I come back and kick, score goes up. Those points should not score. So center referee sees the out of bounds, gives a penalty for out of bounds, and doesn't realize the 2 points went up. So you're one of the, so the coach realizes it though, right? So coach stands up, and of course the coach can ask for invalidation of the penalty. I'm sorry, invalidation of the points. In this case, the other coach. Sir, she was out of bounds when the 2 points went up. But the two request action is it's kind of hard to come up with examples. But the example is out of bounds. So I go out of bounds, and then I kick after Kalyo, and referee doesn't call anything. So the other coach wants to ask for penalty on me for going out of bounds, and then attack after Kalyo, or attacking the fallen opponent. So those four are essentially the times when two can be asked for: out of bounds or falling, as well as kick after Kalyo and kicking the fallen opponent. Okay, there's a whole procedure for it, but in general they cannot. They cannot say, I want 2 points for my player for the back spinning kick, and I want you to give a penalty on him for going out of bounds. Can't do that. You got to pick one. Okay. We only got a few more minutes. Any questions at all about Anything we've talked about today. Yes, go ahead.
So let's say someone was like they got injured, but they're medically cleared, and they want to fight, but the coach doesn't want them to fight. Whose decision would that be?
Well, the coach speaks for the player. So if they're in disagreement, you got to listen to the coach. Coach can throw in the towel. And that's what it's called. Throw in the towel. The match is over. Coach could be totally wrong. Coach speaks for the player in that situation. So you got to listen to the coach.
So what if the coach lied and said throw off the towel, but changed her mind at the moment?
It's a hard one.
Yeah, because the other example for this one, one time was set weapon. Coach's player got hit with base. I called in the medic, and after that, the message the boss can fight.
Mark, do me a favor. Let's do that one later. I want to cover a few more things. So last part, Isaac, please. Put this on over your head. Permitted areas and scoring areas. This is really important. This kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier. You might make some room.
Sure.
Let's go over here, get a little profile. Okay, and turn towards the mirror. Okay. Actually, let's turn around that way. And a permitted area is an area that you're allowed to attack. It's permitted for attack. It's permitted for kick and punch. A permitted area is the trunk, the body, the chest gear. A permitted area is the head for kicks, never punches. So I can throw kicks and punches to the trunk of the body, which is the chest gear, including the white. I can kick to the head. Those are all permitted. It doesn't mean they're going to score, but they're permitted. With my foot, my instep, not my shin, not my knee, and a fist, not back fist or some kind of an elbow. Those are all permitted. But to score, the colored area, this does not score. An axe kick that does not touch the head may be devastating. It's permitted because it's on the chest gear, but doesn't score. It has to hit the blue, and the back is valid, not the spine, though. I've seen some kids kick right on the spine. That's not valid, and that's actually a penalty due to safety. For the head, the entire head above the bottom line of the head protector. So the bottom line of the head protector, if I'll turn around for a second, I'm going to say is essentially where the strap is. Anything above that is considered the head. For scoring, but the permitted area includes everything above the collarbone. So this is the collarbone, I think, right here. And the throat is a permitted area.